The time is, and we have to remember that our clock is off. So the time is 1:08, 1:15
1:14.
on July 31st, 2025. Commissioner Moore, if you would, please, lead us an invocation. Stand if you're able.
Let's bow our heads. Dear Heavenly Father, once again, we want to thank you for waking us up this morning. We thank you for this day, for a brand new day. We ask that you be with us today. We ask that you help us to agree and disagree in unity and love. Help us to make the right decisions on today. And Father God, we will forever praise you and magnify your name. And all these blessings we ask in our Son Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Clerk, if you would please do a roll call. Commissioner DeVito. Present. Commissioner Lori.
Present.
Commissioner Moore.
Here.
Commissioner Burton. Here. City Manager Derek Martin.
I'm here.
Finance Director Steve Conklin.
Here.
Assistant City Manager Christina Marie. Present. I'm here. Mayor Meyer. I'm present. I was looking behind Derek, Mayor. My apologies. No, that's okay. That's okay. I'm here. I'm here. Okay. So with that, let's lead into our workshop. We're going to start with, I think we're starting with, is it correct, our carry forward balance?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
So I tasked Steve to take a look at our history and where the carry forward monies came from. We've also spoken to a third party that had a little bit of knowledge of where these funds were and where they originally came from. And the issue that we have, we've got the totals. The issue that we have is finding exactly where and what line items they came from. From our investigation, it seems that these monies transpired or first came about sometime before 2022 and have been carried over year after year. The amount in 2024 that we knew of that we can calculate is $313,150. We have currently to date used $145,455, and the items that the $145,455 was used for in 2024, 7% salary increase at $83,455, and $62,000 for the general fund public funds.
That was for the repairs to this building?
Correct.
Which we haven't expended all of that money.
Correct. And so we have a remaining balance out of those funds of $167,695. And those need to be allocated or decided as to what we're gonna do with those.
We did do a budget amendment in February and March, and we passed that to do those two amounts. Because I noticed that in the minutes today, that we did pass a budget amendment, so that part of it's taken care of, but yes, the rest of it, we would need to do another budget amendment.
Correct.
Where we're gonna put that in.
Correct. And so to assist in that and making the decision, what we did was we took the May year-to-date 2025 entire budget spreadsheet. We went through all of the expenses, and I apologize, they are not numbered. So we have to call them out when we get there by the division or, by the account description. But Anything that you have in blue highlighted is the revenue. We did not put anything or highlight anything in the revenues. It all comes out of expenses, which are shown in an orange highlight.
Where do you see blue and?
This is gonna be in this spreadsheet right here, ma'am.
Oh.
It's titled May Year-to-Date 2025.
Okay.
I'm sorry, it wasn't in
Which
order.
one you were, that's okay, which one you were working from?
Yes, ma'am. So if you go to the spreadsheet, the orange headers are going to be expenses. You'll see yellow highlighted separate lines under any of the expense items. If they were a negative value, meaning that we have either overspent money or otherwise went into a negative category, then we highlighted it in order for you all to look at each one and see if any of these are areas that you want to put those funds towards. One of the, there are a couple large ones that were unforeseen, but due to some of the audits and other requirements in the financial department, one of those line items is at a negative $39,000, and that has to do with third party, correct? Third party auditing.
Oh, yeah, we're working concurrently, we were working on the fiscal 22-23 audit, and then we started the 23-24 audit, so they cross paths there.
Correct. And so while we had an anticipated budget, they had a run over because of the need that the city had for those older audits to be completed. We shouldn't have that same run up next year.
Correct.
Go ahead.
I got some questions
Okay.
before, okay, so, I looked at this, it seems to me if you're looking at the May year-to-date, that is also reflected on the, proposed budget.
It is.
And that was what I started with, and by the way, I just wanna say, there's a lot of work to do these 3 proposed budgets. It's a lot of work, and so there was a lot of information there. And when I had my meeting with the city manager, he identified that, well, I asked him about carry forward, here it is, and he identified that we were over in significantly in several line items, which I had, and I'm sure some of you have noticed throughout the year. But it seems to me that, it seems to me that we need to figure out some things before we just start plugging in the funding, the remaining, what is it, 167,695 carry forward. And that's what I have questions about. So the audit, the biggest items that I saw were the audit, and on my copy of the budget, it was under finance. On page 10, it was over budget this year by 39,000, projected to be 69,000 by fiscal year end, leaving a total, and then, but under City Hall, there was an audit item, and I don't have the page number for that, but it was under City Hall. That audit item was under budget by 4,700, but it looks like just the audit over budget, when you combine those 2 items, will be somewhere between 34,000 and 64,000.
That is correct.
Okay, and then, but that's, we do not expect that to
Occur.
in 2025.
We do not.
Right, but that's a significant budget overage. And then I was really confused by how we got to the figure in City Hall under professional services. Where I marked it, under City Hall, under professional services.
What line are you on? And okay, so what report are you in and what line are you on?
Okay, it doesn't, I'm in any of the budget templates that you might use.
Okay, then that's what we, that's
Hold
what
on, I called myself writing the page number down, but
Commission, again, I apologize, we tried to make them bigger, we had page numbers and I did not catch that, I
well, hold on,
apologize
City
about
Hall's
that.
about half.
It's the third page, and it's, and I believe what she's talking about is 01012
Utility
512
billing.
3314.
Are you talking about the 57,476
I think she's
dollars?
talking about the 68,000.
the city today.
No, I'm not. No.
Okay, everybody, wait, one at a time, one at a
All right,
time.
I'm sorry, I will make this more clear. On any of the budget templates, the City Hall page is on mine, it's 13 pages.
Which is different from city manager, so there's a
Right.
city manager one that has a $68,000, and
Right.
then there's a city hall one.
Right, the 68,000 was more or less explained, that was the Michael Wilhart fund.
Correct.
Although later I have a question on that. It's under City Hall, and it is the line, I believe, yes, it's the line that says professional services, the last four digits are 3312, the ones before the 00.
Actually, if you look at the
It's
front,
three down,
the front at 149.
right, 149,
That's the line.
thanks, okay, line number 149, but it's three down from the top, it's big fat line, because there's,
Where we paid $80,976, correct?
yes, and then it says, but projected, and I'm not really sure, what does projected mean?
Projected made no sense to me whatsoever.
Well,
For the end of the year.
I know.
I'm glad you said that, because sometimes it did, you can see how it will play out, and sometimes I did not understand it.
And sometimes it was well over what it should be by the end of the year based on our budget.
Yes, so, and this, okay, so,
And projected is just a projected number, that's not set in stone, it's just saying, okay, we've got.
no, but it's your best estimate. You think that there's a substantial likelihood that we would be spending that money?
Possibly, yeah.
Okay, so, but if you go all the way to the end, to the note, it says that $50,000 for the downtown partnership agreement for services is included in there because it was incorrectly budgeted in the CRA.
Yeah, I have a question about that too.
Correct, and I think, Christina, can you chime in on that one, please?
Yes,
Okay, wait, she's trying to talk. Just
at a conference I attended, or a seminar, a workshop through the FRA pertaining to CRA, it was a budgeting, information workshop. It was discussed that CRA should not be paying for the Main Street program. If the Main Street program does anything that could be related to marketing or promotions in any way, that the CRA should not be funding it. So when I came back from that meeting, I brought that to Steve and our current city manager's attention at the time, and reminded them during this budget that that was something that we needed to address. So the CRA and properly funding a program they maybe shouldn't be.
But if the-
Okay, well, wait a minute. Hold on. Number one, that's not legal advice to us. I mean, that's general information. Marketing is not everything that Main Street does. So to me, I think it's a little premature. I mean, it's certainly important, and I wouldn't want you to not bring the information to us. But I think it's premature to assume that we have to shift the entire downtown partnership
Amount that we pay.
Yeah.
right,
Contract service.
because, I don't even know, what of our funds they spend on
Salary, it's all salary.
Right,
Right, the salary and rent.
right.
No, it's
So-
salary,
It's salary.
it's salary.
And that's what the memorandum of understanding.
Actually,
No,
I
it
believe the
was-
memorandum of understanding states that we're funding the partnership to run the Main Street program based on their four-point approach.
Right.
That's all.
Right.
So we don't break it down, however, it's my understanding that he's paid exactly pretty much, is that correct? That he's
Correct,
paid exactly
yes.
what we pay?
Yes, yes, that's their executive director gets paid the full amount.
So then
Okay.
our contribution is going to that part. So
So,
we're not funding marketing. So we should,
Well-
yeah,
that's, I guess, that's
Yeah.
something that needs to be further discussed. Maybe we can loop in some,
We need to have the
loop in
legal.
our attorney, but it was just something I felt that I needed to disclose. There was a specific conversation pertaining to this, and, I thought it was relevant for me to bring forward.
Right, so that's good to know. And just to clarify, I could have sworn that the downtown partnership president said that part of the money would go for the rent and part of the money would go for salaries.
It's all going south.
It's all going south. Okay. So just for clarification, so is that, but it also says attorney fees and pension plan actuary reports for the audit. So is that part of the 80,000 in, 2025 to date and projected, those audit attorney fees and actuary funds?
Professional services, that's going to be, for this, a majority of that 80,000, I believe, is for Michael Brillhart, because Michael Brillhart was a 1099 vendor, he was not a
Wait a minute,
That's under city manager.
Oh, is it? I'm sorry.
I'm
I'm
under
sorry.
city hall.
Under city hall.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, sorry.
Line one
Line
forty-nine.
149. So yeah, did you move that 50,000 for that partnership all over in the actuals, or is that
No, it's
No,
just
it's
here in
in
the budget.
just in the budget? Okay. That's what.
The new budget,
Commissioner
correct?
Correct.
Toledo was
It's in
asking.
the new budget, not the old budget.
Okay, so I guess
It's
when,
still in the CRA in the old budget as it was originally budgeted for.
okay, so what is the, for professional services in the green column budgeted 2026? What does that $55,000, what is it intended to be used for?
50,000 for the downtown partnership and 5 for the attorney's fees and the miscellaneous actuary reports.
Okay, so for the, it's to be used for the things in the notes.
Correct.
Okay. And for the current year, what was the $80,000 used for?
I'll have to match on that.
But, so we, because that is a chunk of change and it is the adopted budget, it's what, almost $60,000 over the amended budget. But we don't think we will spend that money again.
Correct, I'll have to go back and take a look at that, if these, you look at enough of these numbers, will start to look the same.
Yeah, I made a note of it. We'll get the history on that, find out where it went and why, and we'll report back.
Okay,
I'll let you all know as we move through this process, because, we're just now starting this conversation, so we'll let you know.
okay, so taking a step beyond that, and I tried to go step by step. Of those two items, the total overages for the current year are about $164,000. So as we have paid those monies, where did we get that from? Like just other line items that weren't?
Correct.
Okay, so before we start plugging in carry forward money, my question is, since we've been paying for some line items that go over out of other line items, what is our total amount? Do we have an amount that we're projected to be over budget for all of these different budget entities in the general fund?
I haven't put together anything yet.
So, yeah, because when you start looking at the numbers, when you start saying, this is how much we brought in, this is how much we have expended so far.
Right.
That there's a shortfall there.
Shortfall.
There is. See there.
Right, so I guess, Mayor,
Yeah, there's
what,
numbers on here, that's
what I'm-
showing up.
what I'm saying is, to me, that it would be more useful to do the budget workshop and go through each, just go through each budget entity and see where we are and understand it better. Because the two things that we don't have, as I understand it, and I wanna make sure I got this right, we don't know how much, more ad valorem revenue will be coming in? Do we have, I know, Derek told me that he expects additional revenue, but,
In June, we received, I believe, another 65,000.
pardon?
In June, we received, I believe it was 65,000.
Okay, so in addition to the carryover amount to pay the bills for this fiscal year, we will have, we received $65,000 that's not reflected.
It was, you received that right at the end of June.
Correct.
Yes, okay,
And then I just received an email today, we got another 5,000 in July.
Because there'll also
Roughly
be
5,000 in July.
franchise fees and those other things that keep coming in every month, right? Because we'll be getting those consistently from June, July, August, September.
Correct.
So that's 4 more months that you'll have to, utility taxes come in, franchise fees come in, and, because those are all monthly.
And- Right, and that's something that is concerning because, and Steve, I think we've talked about that, is when we look at historically, how much money have we really brought in between June and the end of September? And because I'm showing right now $835,030 short in all, that has not been brought in today.
Okay.
Now, when you go to the budget that you've given us, the 2025-26 budget, and you come down to the bottom of the revenues, there's the 2,276,983. I come up with 2,287,783. There's a $10,800 difference there, and I'm not sure. I thought that should have calculated it correctly, but
It should have.
But when you look on page 5, go to page 5, line 41, you have interest income there of $30,000, total investment income $30,000, you don't have a total on that. And then there's total fines and forfeitures, amended budget $10,800. So I don't know if somehow or another that page has gotten messed up, but I don't know how we would have total investment income and interest income both at $30,000. And then you've gone over and you put 50 in the budgeted amount for 2026 for both of those line items. I know we were hoping to, and we projected that if we invested, and we did not invest,
Correct.
that we would bring in $30,000. So we know right there, we're gonna have a shortfall because we haven't done that.
Correct, yes.
So, but I wanna know where that other $30,000, there's $60,000 of investment funds there.
Well, we did,
Interest and investment funds.
All sensible.
we did put the money in
This
for the product, but that was
percentage.
not at the beginning of the year.
Not, yeah, not what we should have.
Not full amount.
Speak to that.
We have the percentage.
But we were
Okay. How have we done that? I mean, I wanna make sure, have we done that? Have we put the money in Forest Line yet?
No, we are still waiting for the commission to give us the,
Wait a minute, so, okay,
Can I ask a question real quick as well? So I wasn't part of those meetings or conversations. I was told that the commission approved 75%
Yeah.
of the full revenue that we had set aside.
Yes.
Why didn't we do 100%? Because the money is accessible
Right.
at the beginning. Like if you need it today, you can get it today.
Steve had, I believe he recommended us just doing 750 just to make sure we have liquidity
Okay?
and have money on hand, although I really believe that we should do the full amount. I mean, why not?
It's a difference of $20,000 of income. And that's why we did put the 50,000, assuming that we could talk to you all for this next budget and get that approved.
I mean, we approved and passed a resolution. I mean, you have to check records.
But that is why the 50 is there, because we assumed 5% of the $1 million.
Okay, but you've got 250, so you got $100,000 right there.
Where's the other 50? that she-
Line 41 and 42.
The 42, I believe is a total. That's a total, Mayor. That's not another line item.
No, it's not. Add those up. Code enforcement, 8,500, 500, that's 9,000, another 18, then 1080, then 30.
well, the 1080 is the total of the code enforcement, the parks and the court and the
So
court
you
lines.
just didn't, okay, so you just didn't do you didn't finalize those out, because if you look at everything else, it's finalized.
Okay, they get
The
cut
sheet
off.
cut off.
Okay,
Yeah, there should have
So-
been.
The other sheets that we go to, we have stronger headers and bolts on there because that is total investment
Okay.
income, which is an equal of the one. I
So that's the
apologize.
final, I just wanna make sure, because when you look at this sheet, when you're
Yes, ma'am.
looking at the sheet, how it appears.
Yes, ma'am, we'll fix it.
So please fix that.
Yes, ma'am.
I knew it didn't have a code next to it on either one of those, where it says total fines and forfeitures and total investment income, where the other ones
Visually, I understand, we'll
brought
take
it
care of
there,
it.
thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
okay, then, Mayor, and
Yes.
thank you for pointing all this out. So it seems to me the actual, if this page that you were just going over, number 5, represents another page of revenues, it seems like the amended budget should have been 40,800. You would add the 1080 and the 30, and for the whole page, that would have been a projected.
Yes,
Okay, but then the serious question is, I think this commission thought that we authorized the investment. So the $30,000 in the amended budget, I did not catch this, that's actually 0.
that's 0, and so in the
Oh, so
amended
sorry.
budget, it should be back out and should be 0.
So that is a
Right.
minus $30,000 when we are in need of funds.
And we don't usually, when we do budget amendments, we didn't touch the revenues. We just left the revenues where they were. The only thing we,
I know, but it still has to balance.
well, it does, but it will balance. We just don't have any money in there.
Well, but the serious, I mean, we are,
You're looking at the actuals and the projected,
right,
and then go down.
we're
So,
projecting, but we have not earned this
Right.
money. So what do we need to do to invest the money? Did we or did we not?
I would like to bring it back up for you all to approve the entire amount at 100% for us to invest, and we can get it done very quickly. Get it in that bank account and start accruing interest on that money. It's super important, and then you can decide what you want to do with that money, but we have a lot of needs. This carry forward as well, from investigating it just from a standpoint, I mean, I know we have some shortfalls in the budget. I need to work with Steve more in regard to what we have coming in. We're just now, and I'm just now really digging into this. I have some concerns, but I think that of course, we'll fix it by the time it comes. My biggest thing is I think that the carry forward number is possibly some monies that were set aside for other things that had gotten forgotten, that got, on the wayside and forgotten because there were other needs. We have larger needs like a new fire truck that costs $500,000 that we're gonna end up needing, and other things around the city that we could invest that money into rather than filling holes, and that's important to talk about as well.
Well, we're gonna have to fill the holes.
Well, I know that,
Regardless, we're gonna have to
I
fill
need to
those
find
holes.
out how much money we have coming in to see how those are gonna fill as we move towards the end of the year, moving into the next fiscal. I haven't gotten that far yet, we've only started really digging into this general fund, so.
Okay, well, for 2 months, I've been saying this budget is very important.
Oh, yes, I agree, 100%. We have been working on it, we've been working on audits and other items such as the Doge that came up out of the blue, and we've been pulled in several directions. The staff has been on top of it, doing as much as they can with what they've got, and we'll continue to do that until we have success.
Go ahead, Commissioner DeVito.
Okay, so it just seemed to me, and based on what the city manager just said, I think for our own peace of mind, so that we could all understand the current budget and what that means for the budget that we're trying to set and to choose a millage rate, instead of plugging money in where there are gaps, I would rather go through the budget so we can understand it and we can see where we are, because we gotta set a millage rate this afternoon. I just think it would be more helpful for us, and we would understand it if we went through the proposed budget page by page, and it doesn't really matter which one you choose, you can choose a high one or a low one.
And I agree, I do agree. We need to go through this line by line.
And I have a list, there are things that you said you didn't understand, I have a list of things that I felt were not clear or weren't properly forecast. Based on history and all things considered, but, I don't know how everybody else feels about that. But I think it was a little too soon.
I agree, but I just wanna make sure, that, and this is my biggest concern, that we have this budget adjustment. This budget adjustment has to be done before the end of the fiscal year. It has to be done. We should not be spending money, that we have not accounted for.
Right, so if we go through the budget page by page, I think we're gonna get a better understanding of where we are on that.
Okay.
I think.
Okay, now which radio are we using here today? So that we can get on,
I suggest we start with the 8.7164, and then we know from there how much we have to back out. That's the rollover rate that was given, rollback rate that was given to us. So I think if we start with that, this is a lot here, I think, no, I know, but I think that we know how much, if we start there and we know the difference between each one, the three, the 8.5914 and then the 8.4, how much we're gonna have to cut out of this original budget, depending on where we go. Now, this afternoon, when we set our maximum, keep in mind that we can set this at the 8.7164, since that's our maximum, our tentative maximum. We can go down, we just can't go over that.
Right, and that is what goes on the trim notices.
That is what
everyone
goes,
gets.
yes.
So, I mean, I'd rather be lower and keep it low than higher and don't allow. But that's a decision for us to make at the end of the day.
Right. Well, on the other side of the coin, I mean, I thought about that, I don't wanna upset people, but, and we can always put a message out with it. But my fear is because, well, we'll know more when we go through this page by page, but my fear is I certainly do not wanna put us in an untenable short position.
The difference between 8.7614 and 8.434 is 39,000. 39,000.
Yeah, so,
Okay.
I could run through some of those numbers for you all, we can start that if you wanna get to this sheet here, which is the current overview and millage rate comparisons. I know this discussion we can have tonight, but this goes along with these budgets for us to talk, just so you all know, when you pull up the budget that we were just talking about that says budget template millage rate 8.7164, this is our baseline budget. This is what we went off of and started off of, just so you all know. I can speak to the differences if you would like. I have a spreadsheet that we put together. It's right here. It's current overview of millage rate comparisons. In this spreadsheet, it explains to you all what the current or what the ad valorem tax would be based on each one of the different rates that you would use. And of course, this year's or the adopted budget, our ad valorem tax was $992,203. Yes, sir.
Can I get a photocopy of that sheet, because I
You did not get this?
don't think it's in the packet, I can't find it.
Okay.
Yeah, I would like,
Can you just give them for everybody?
It's out.
it was in your packet.
Year to date.
Where is it? It's in the year to date.
After the
After
year to date.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
I think we just need to understand the budget, where we are, before we get to
It was
it.
very long. It was very long.
Okay.
Which one are you using? Are you using the
This one
the?
right here is behind
Yeah.
all of these, behind all of these.
Oh, here it is.
Okay, do you see it?
I've got it.
No, but I got a copy of it.
Yes, sir. Look underneath this group, there's behind it.
There we go, found it.
Page.
You find it?
It's all the way at the end.
You just got too many pages.
It's all pages.
Too many damn pages.
That's all the
That's the
information.
bottom line.
I found it.
Okay, there we go.
I'm sorry about the pages. We wanted to make sure that you all had each one of the balanced budgets based on each one of those rates. And then also we have at the end, at the very end, which we will discuss later, the comparisons between the high and the low and the medium and the high.
But Mayor,
Yes, ma'am.
my concern is the part in the middle, which is the actual budget sheets. And if we have areas where we're overspending and we have areas where we're not projecting enough for the next year, then, we gotta deal with that.
Yeah, we have, so let's just start with the general budget, if everyone's okay with that.
Sure.
I understand Commissioner DeVito where you are, and that is a very good point.
I kind of think most of the work is already kind of been done, but that's okay. We'll go through it.
And my first question, I don't know about others, my first question is on page 4.
On page 4, you say?
4, that would be under, revenues. I'm going by my tiny little print copy. But if you count in 4 pages, it's still in the revenue part, and at the top it says revenues, and it says charges for services.
Yeah.
I guess 28, 29, 28 through 35. Okay. So my first question is, we have the transfers, starting with, we have administration fees that come from the enterprise funds, and they're listed here separately: gas, water, wastewater, solid waste, and CRA. Okay, and this is not a huge amount, but those administration fees, it's my understanding that they're based largely on the salary of the employees in City Hall, the city manager, and whoever else, that provide, administrative
The
services.
shared costs for those services.
Thank you, better way to say it, okay, shared cost.
So the
So-
shared cost.
And there was no dollar increase made. If staff salaries are going up, or have gone up, which they did, we did the 7% increase, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so if staff salaries have gone up, shouldn't this reflect, be based, the shared services should reflect the updated salaries? That was my only point, and, because the salaries are usually, I think, one of the salaries is the city manager, which is the top salary. So that's just my observation there. I don't think it's gonna change the entire budget.
No, but it needs to be adjusted, and then also, there's been, when does that actually pay?
Yeah, that was, yeah, no, I'm gonna have to update that here, sorry.
Yeah, because it says 0, all of them are 0, which
Yeah, we
shows
had
us that
to-
a tremendous shortfall.
We had done a couple iterations of the salaries and we did that.
We were in anticipation of having different salary ranges as far as percentages, so we will take care of that.
So, but go to Commissioner DeVito's question,
The administrative transfers,
yes,
But you're saying they haven't happened?
no, they haven't
they
happened.
have not happened.
And usually we do them towards the end of the year, so when there's money in the
Correct,
enterprise
yeah.
funds. So,
Okay,
They're gonna be done,
If they have it.
they've been done in June, I believe I did them in June, correct?
In June?
Yes,
So you've already done them?
I believe so, yes, I've done them.
Okay.
so in other words, this is what I raised before. We don't really know, we have outstanding revenue, and this is a piece of outstanding revenue, right?
Mhm.
So we have outstanding revenue, so it's to be determined what the shortfall is based on truing up outstanding revenue. And, okay, so this is some outstanding revenue. We know the CRA should have them.
So,
Solid waste.
and so I'm gonna ask a question, Commissioner Vito, when you're done, on
Absolutely.
the same page before we move off of this. So this is where, when I was going through this last night, this projected 2025, if this is accurate, and this is what we should be looking at as projection, then you look over and it's 0, so it's zeroed out. So if you're projecting, it should have 113,100 in there, and I don't understand what projected 2025 actually, how you got those numbers.
Oh, it says, the comment says you should, 2025 budget amount, so you look at the 2025,
And that's where you get, that's where you got
yeah,
it.
the adopted budget amount. I'm
but
sorry,
there's nothing in projected, is what she
But there's
said.
nothing projected.
There's no
Those-
money
And
in
when you
projected.
start adding those back and forth, they don't add up.
And that, I believe, is just in,
So, right, so basically, Mayor,
was overlooked.
what you're saying is, when you look at it, it looks like we are not intending to make those transfers.
Yes,
But we are, because it's already done.
Correct.
So
And,
those numbers are.
but we didn't know that,
Right, well, that's.
so I
fine, but
know,
we're-
so we didn't
we
know
know
that because
but,
based on this.
that's a significant amount of money.
It is significant. On this page alone, we're short $444,041. Just on this page alone, we have a shortfall
But we're not.
coming in.
Well, but
Correct.
that's what it shows.
That's what it shows on this.
So right now, we're not even approving this budget, we're approving a maximum millage rate.
Commissioner,
And
I know, but we're going through the general and we've got these questions,
Okay.
okay? So these are significant, this is significant. So as we set the millage, we have to kind of have an understanding. Are we gonna have to make up for any of this?
And that's what I was alluding to earlier. Steve and I still have a lot of work to do in order to get those up to date. June is almost complete right now, and we'll be ready for the August meeting, and he's continuing to work forward on that budget and see what we have coming in. These items right here, we appreciate the second and third and fourth eye. We will make sure that this gets updated as we move forward. That's exactly what this process is all about, and we appreciate it. Thank you.
And I think we just need to look at the expenses and see what the difference is on the different millage rates. See what the difference between the 8.7 and the 8.4 would be.
But
Because that's what we can control, is where we're spending the money. The money that's
But
coming
if
in.
we're setting expenses, you gotta understand, we're setting expenses based on revenue that's coming
Right, and
in.
the revenue.
So we have to
has been
make sure the
estimated.
revenue is coming in. So
Right,
that right there shows zero. So if you were to look at this, and you're gonna go over here, and somebody would look over here and say, well, oh my gosh,
Yeah.
if you're not projecting any of that to come in, and if it's not gonna come in, then we've got 444,000. So we need to go through this.
We will definitely do that. I apologize. And again, I am learning how you all want to see this. I know my predecessor hid this from you all before. When you were working on the budget, he had the actual budgeted line item, and we did not do that.
You didn't hide anything. What are you talking
No, we
about?
didn't have the projected
It's just
column last year.
projected column was not in there for you all to see when you were going over the budget. I wanted to make sure that we were looking at that only as an anchor for you all to see why we put money into the budget based on what we had and what we spent and what was projected for the rest of the year, so we could get a total for that. This is just our oversight and mistake. We will get it fixed, so you will see it. We are still intending on, as you can see in the budgeted for 2026, to hold those items in there as they were before in the amended 2025 budget. We just matched it.
So, okay, so I understand that, but I still need to understand, like on the rent for 117 North Summit, okay?
Yes.
We budgeted zero, we have 1,200 because they hadn't moved out, but then you're saying projected 1,800. So where are we gonna get that additional 600?
Well,
So
that,
see where that's not making, that's not, these figures are not coming together.
and just so you know, the projected for the year goes to May of this year, and we prorated each month through the end of the year.
You're not listening to me. What I'm saying is that 1,200, that's all we're getting on that building. We should not get any more rent on that building. We had zero on it. That was just, they went over
Right,
in their time there, but then you come over to projected and it says 1,800. So
Yes,
I'm
ma'am.
asking you,
yes, ma'am.
when you're giving us a projected for 1,800, where are you getting that additional 600?
The projection was done by calculation, and the projection was only used for us internally to come up with the budget, and if you go to the budget,
So basically,
2026, it says $0.
We took, the first, 6 months, 7 months,
Right,
or 8 months, I'm sorry, because it's through May.
right,
You take that, you divide it, you take the total, you divide it by 4, because we have 4 months left, and you just add it to your actual.
But you're not getting that.
Right.
You see, we're not getting any more money on that.
right.
And then you
We
have
have-
projected number.
Right.
Okay, so I know, but this is kind of confused things in here, this projected, 2025.
And that's
So-
why I think Charles read it.
Yeah, that's
I'm
That's
sorry,
why.
I didn't,
Didn't
I
hide
just wanted to
anything.
He
show
wasn't
you
hiding, he just hit the column.
this is
Exactly.
column for the
Because it, okay,
report.
Yeah, just
Okay.
ignore the projected column.
Ma'am,
so let's go back,
if I
yes.
could just say one thing, that's fine, I understand now, they're explaining this is kind of a mechanical process.
Yes.
I
But if-
understand.
Right, but if you know for sure that certain items are not going to, be continuing on, as a source of revenue, then it should be manually adjusted. It's a mechanical process is not enough, and it's not that big a budget, because I went through it in between, 8 o'clock last night and 1 o'clock today. I
gone
did,
through the whole thing.
right, but I'm saying, I went through, and that kind of adjustment to me needs to be made, and I have, I'm not comfortable setting millage rate until we go through and understand what some of these significant line items are based on, because I'm not sure that every single budgeted 2026 item that is important, that's significant, is necessarily a good number to rely on based on past history or whatever. So, I mean, I think we're.
So
doing
let's go through this like we had planned. Let's go through the general budget.
I think you ought to just jump to page 100. Check it out.
Okay.
Okay.
So with all of these, Steve, so you've looked at when you're looking at this new budgeted, with the budgeted 2026. So you've gone through all of these to see where the increases are gonna be, correct?
Correct, that's based off last year, and then, or, looking at the current, that's how this budget was done, just, based on what the, best judgment, it's a budget, so you can only, you don't have a crystal ball, so you can do the best you can.
Okay.
Okay.
So for instance, in line 3, the local option 6-cent gas tax, you brought that down because it was, our rented budget was 60,000. You looked at this year's, we've got 29,000, so you projected 44,000, so we budgeted 49.
We look at last year too, you look at 2024, we're right about 49,000, so.
Yeah, people need to buy more gas.
So then you projected though for our ad valorem where it should come in at,
That's just a,
992, you projected it to come in at 1.394.
Yeah,
that's just projected, that's,
That's-
that's just to help us budget, but it's, don't pay attention to that, because
Why, Spider, why?
What?
Hi,
Did you kill him?
I don't, I'm sorry.
Well, Denise said that you don't wanna be bitten. If it's a little one, they can leave a nasty bite.
like for that one, Mary, I know, like, we weren't gonna get that, so that's why we didn't like look at that projected number, it's just, that's just a budgeting, it helps you in your budgeting process, but some things you just have to not pay attention to, because it's never, it's not gonna happen.
And the money that's over there, we make up with all the administrative transfers, because we have to see where they're going out for the projected. So that extra amount there would actually kind of wash.
Our projected range, just as a kind of like an anchor, I believe we decided it was like 3 to 5% across the board. And so we just took it, multiplied it over to get an idea. And then, of course, projected on some of them were taking and just figuring out what the cost was up to date through May, and then prorating each month based on that. But some of the others are percentage rates, so.
How much did you say you just got in an ad valorem?
I believe it was 65,000.
Okay, so that would put us over, because right now we have a shortfall of 62,732. So that would have put us over what we were estimating for last year, correct?
Correct, I believe so, because we were pretty close.
We're also spending 992.
Yeah.
So that was it.
929,
Yeah.
471.
Mayor, how do you get?
Because I took the budgeted amount and I subtracted the year-to-date, and that gave us a shortfall of 62,732.
Okay.
And he said that he just deposited 65,000.
Yeah, there was a tax sale according to the paperwork I got. That's why we just.
Okay, so you think?
So our ad valorem, according to Steve, if that's the case, then our ad valorem will meet the budgeted amount from last year.
Okay, but it will not necessarily meet the 1,394,000.
No, that's,
Okay,
that is just in there, just, like I said.
I'm sorry I left that in the
To confuse us.
Yeah, I would just ignore that column.
I did ignore it.
okay.
After I got through the first couple of pages, I did ignore it.
Well, it's concerning, okay, and I know.
So as we go through this first page, is there anything else, in here just like projected, 75, I mean, you got, I'm sorry, I'll get off the projected because we know it's only gonna be 5,000 and you projected 7,500.
That's, yeah, you have to know when to ignore stuff and know when not to.
And exactly,
And if you look at the budget, it more or less correlates back to the amended budget of 2025. We're really close and trying to hold a very tight line to that because we know that things are tight. So, again, projected, a lot of companies use projections. We utilize them just in some areas, but not in all.
so Steve, when you're looking at, so when you got the unaudited that we got for the electric utility, 177, even though we budgeted 140, we came in low on that. But it looks like we got 177, 374, so this next year you believe we're gonna get 178,000.
Roughly based on, because if you look at 2023, we received 167,710, so yeah, it's.
So you see, Commissioner Lori, that's why I feel that this is so important that we go through this, because if we set that millage that low and we leave us absolutely no room, and
Right.
based on our revenues, if
Right.
we've overestimated our revenues, we're gonna be in significant trouble because we've done ourselves in the city an injustice by setting too low.
Right, and Mayor, that I agree, and it's so important that we understand what these revenue numbers mean. Yeah. There's what I would call soft in places. I think that's the word for it.
Okay,
All right.
do you have any other questions on the first page? Anything else that stands out?
I do not.
On the second page, we go into our licenses and permits. We haven't gotten 3,500s thus far. And so you put in there for the alcohol beverage license, 3,500. You've added 500 over last year's budget. We're still at only 2,320 on that one. Looks like we got 2,600 in 2024 and possibly 2,209. So why did we go up 35 to 3,500 in that line?
Probably because I was looking at the projected and looking at the 2 prior years and just, see, you have to, you use projected sometimes you don't. So that was, we can adjust that back down to, $2,600 or make it $2,700.
This is where I say we have to be so careful because, you've added an additional $500 and we still have only brought in 23. At the most, we brought in 26. So that's almost a $900 shortfall that we could possibly have in next year's budget that we're gonna have to make up.
And that's a 17% difference on that particular line item. We can go to a projected one that we use the projection, which was 4,500 on line 14 for zoning fees. Again, for us to look at things, we did not have much in the budget. We had 5,000. We took in actuals of 3,000 for up to May. We anticipate more growth and we anticipate those fees coming in as people are going to build homes, apartment buildings, different things. So that's an 800% increase from what we had in the budget in 2025. So again, those are things where some line items we did use the projection and, some things are anecdotal. I mean, this is a guess. This is a guesstimate and we have to guess very well. You have to scientifically go through some of the items, yes, but some of the others like this, you don't know how much you're gonna have. You can go off the history, but you have to look and.
You don't, but you need to err on the side of caution.
Yes, I agree with that.
And so I don't believe that some of this is erring on the side of caution. So when you look at, we budgeted 500, there's a reason why we budgeted 500 so that we wouldn't be in that.
Correct.
We were very fortunate, we got 3,000.
Correct.
So now we're gonna go, oh, let's budget 4,500 because maybe we got 3,000 this year, maybe we'll get 4,500 next year.
Correct.
Where I don't feel that that's safe.
Okay, and that's why we're here to talk about that.
And Mayor, I 100% agree with you. I would rather, I just saw Commissioner Moore nod her head. I would rather estimate conservatively because we can't manufacture money.
We can't.
Correct.
And I just think I agree with you very strongly. We should estimate conservatively. We never know from one day to the next what's gonna happen with the economy, with hurricanes, we just don't know.
The staff concurs.
Okay.
And if we go over, then that's a windfall for us.
Correct.
And that's why we have this overage that we've had year by year over year that we've carried over because we've had that.
Mhm.
Chances are we're not gonna have that. This year is gonna be a bare bones budget.
Correct.
We got inflation, we have high interest rates, we have, who knows? Who knows?
So here on this one, zoning permits, we had it at 8,000 last year, so you're bringing it down to 5,800. Based on, and year to date, we brought in 38,600.
Right.
Yeah, that one I based off projected, because I think projected is, 57.9.
Okay. So commissioners, with this, I mean, we need to give them some direction. So with this, like with the alcoholic beverages, are we comfortable at 3,500 or do we have them do an adjustment?
Where does that line item come from? The alcohol beverage license? Does
That's
that come from restaurants, bars?
Yeah, those that
And so
have
we
that.
have two restaurants, or more than,
We have a new one.
we have an additional, with Bell's Bistro being open, having a liquor license, and then also the liquor store, Parker House. So, I mean, that's an additional establishment that would be selling.
Well, Parker House has been open.
No, I'm talking about Bell's Bistro.
I know, but Bell's Bistro is additional, but Parker House has been open,
No, I
as
know,
has
I'm
Winn
just trying
Dixie.
I'm trying to figure
Yes,
out
Winn
what
Dixie's been open too, so
it's
that's,
based on. Is that just for, restaurants that are serving alcohol, or is that for package stores? Do we know?
That's for all, correct?
It's all, package stores.
And I would say, I don't want to, as former Mayor Peterson loves to say, get too much into the weeds. I would just say, I think we should use the conservative number consistently. And
That's for
not
another
say, maybe it will be more. I mean, I don't go with that one.
In this budget, again, looking at this, we're looking at license and permits. We are looking at the specific line items. There are some changes in some high, some low. The overall growth or what we expect is a 19% increase to $2,700 compared to our budget at $16,700 compared to, $14,000. So that is the crux of it at the end of the day. That is the delta. The increase is 2,700. And we can,
again,
flatten
that's
that
your
out.
projected.
Yes,
So let's look at the amended budget's 14,000.
yes,
We brought in 11,000 so far.
correct.
The year prior, I guess, we brought in 26. And that was the zoning permit. Was that for, Steve, do you know what that was? Was that for the McDonald's?
Yeah, let's take a look, but probably, because that's.
McDonald's, and then we had, okay.
And we do, construction is slow. We do have, and you all just voted on some changing of zoning and all that. We've got expansion at the fish camp. We have a new Dunkin' coming in. We are going to get some fees where this is involved. So, I mean, I believe we're gonna get the money in.
It's good to believe.
Yeah.
I hate to tell you,
I have
my
hope.
mom used to tell you about money.
I know.
But you can't spend what you don't have either.
Right, so we're just saying, can we go to a different page? I mean, I'm just hoping that the next iteration of the budget will be based on conservative revenue estimates.
So, does anybody have any questions on the next page?
And we're talking about intergovernmental.
We've got the FDOT traffic. Have we not received anything for that as of yet?
And green
And when will
space.
that be at the end of the fiscal year? They've
Right,
already,
yeah.
state's already into their next fiscal
They've-
year, so they should have paid out from last year.
They did. The issue that I have, I looked at the contract, is that they added an additional 50+ lights that were not in that contract at $307 per light. At that projection, this upcoming year, when we renegotiate that, it's an additional $20,000 that we're gonna have income from them at the $300 per light. So,
Okay,
And on here, it doesn't show any.
it's not, yeah, on here it's 0, the projected 0, and then we've got year-to-date actual 0, and so I'm asking, have we not received any of those revenues, seeing as the state have closed their book, they've closed their books out? Their fiscal year starts July 1.
Have we received that yet, Steve?
We will be into that.
Yeah, we started looking in because I called them, and I have the contract on the top of my desk, so we wanted to find out where we were with that and why in '24, they had the amount of lights that they had, but yet, and a few months after that was signed by Charles Rudd, they included or installed more lights, and they never changed the contract. So, and I'm not sure why that wasn't changed.
Also, the Putnam County landscape agreement, there's nothing there. And traffic signal and street lights.
Yeah.
So all three of those, we need to figure out what's going on.
Yeah.
But I agree with you on this, the FDOT street light maintenance. They added, how many lights is that there? That they added, I know, we know there's 12 that aren't working. And how many is that?
I thought it
30
was 30, I thought it was close to 30.
Right, and some, we paid every month for those.
And some of those are outside the city limits too, though, so they're,
They go up to the city limits.
no, I think
Because
there's some go
Past the
past, I know they go past.
that's all annexed in, that was annexed in 2007. That, there's no difference.
We'll make sure, I had Keith actually count the lights, and so I'm waiting to hear back from the DOT, I've already called them, and just so the commission knows, I had tasked staff to give me all of the contracts that we currently have, so I could go through all of those, review them, see which ones need to be updated, and they're starting trickling in, so those are the two that are on the top. One is for streetlights and one is for the actual traffic lights, and those are my DOT, so.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, regardless of going in and renegotiate those and finding that, we still haven't gotten paid
We gotta
for
get
this
paid.
year, so we
Correct.
wanna know how much revenue we've received on that.
Right, and that's, as Commissioner Lori pointed out, that's true also for Putnam County landscape.
Yep,
And the contract, I guess, the street light, we have 26 in here, unaudited 30, and then 26 for the budget. The contract that I looked at was around $23,000 or $24,000. I don't think it was 26,000, but I will verify that. And we'll take care of that and follow up with FDOT.
Okay, so that's good.
next page,
And that's charges for services, and we
already
discussed
talked about.
the administrative fees
Yeah,
and the rent. Oh, and then, well, actually, the very top line.
Yeah.
I think we talked about this before, it's not, we talked about this at a prior meeting. There's already a built-in increase in the contract, but it's not reflected in the budget for 2026 or, what we are receiving for 2025.
Yeah, their lease has I believe it's 3 or
High
5%.
increase.
It has an annual increase, I put that on this, I put that on my notes too, does this include the increase?
No,
And we need to make sure that as we bill that out, that we've included that increase. There were years that I don't know that it was actually, it was not included.
I know that we have a certain, I haven't looked at that when I requested the contract for that, unless you. And I know that they lease the building and we have certain responsibilities. They should also have certain responsibilities. I don't think they have currently right now. I heard that we replaced or had been tasked to replace an air conditioner over there.
We're having discussion, they
We're
want to have a
discussion.
discussion about
Okay,
it. They
right.
have done that in the past,
Okay.
they've done a lot of, they had the building painted.
Right,
They went above and beyond
right.
their, the call to that contract in the past.
Most commercial, and again, this is commercial, we're government, but most commercial properties, just like a build out for a restaurant, you have the property, you lease it, the restaurateur comes in, they paint, they fix the building, they do everything, but they're typically triple net leases. So anything in responsibility to the building, the structure, yes,
Depends on how it depends on how the lease is structured.
right,
I've had them where they took care of the air conditioning
okay,
and I took care of everything else. So it just depends on how it's structured.
okay, all right.
Mayor, if I could just
Yes.
say one thing, 2 points, because we're all pretty familiar with the contract. There's an automatic increase, in some years it wasn't paid, and we did request it to be paid.
Okay,
But it does, if you're gonna go by the contract and request of them that they pay the automatic increase, it does not make sense that the budgeted amount for 2026 would be $1,000 less than, what was paid or budgeted in, for the current year. Secondly, the county, including the tax collector's office, who is one of the main users of that, just to confirm, what the mayor said, they have, and the responsibilities, I think, are laid out in the contract, but they have gone well above and beyond. When we did not have money and were prepared, they repaired all kinds of things. And
And the nice air conditioning.
so we're happy they're there,
Yes, absolutely, and
they've done a lot.
And if you go to the notes, the 2208.16 a month, that is their rent, the fee that they're paying currently. That for the year total comes out to $26,497.92. We'll address this and we'll look back at this, and I still have a review of the contract. I'm not sure why the 902 was reduced by $902. I'll have to get back to you all on that. But, yeah, they've been a wonderful town. Why did this go down 902? Because per year is that.
That's the next one, fines and forfeitures.
28,000 and you get actual for 27,98.
So we just.
So code enforcement.
It was over budgeted.
Okay, that's what it was. So it was over budgeted last year, and that's why we reduced it, just to try to
Get it,
Yeah.
the actual
be a
amount.
little bit more conservative on it.
Okay.
Okay,
Maybe make a note.
I have plenty in here.
I mean, those little notes you have on the side,
Yes,
because otherwise it's confusing.
okay.
That's a great explanation. Code enforcement seems to be a conservative amount.
That just depends on how many cases get brought before the magistrate, I believe.
Yeah.
You know,
And what's collected, because we don't always collect.
Yeah, we don't always apply. We've really talked about, we've already kind of talked about this, at 30,000, and so when you amend your budget, just make sure. Let's go to the next page, law enforcement education.
So that wasn't mine, that was supposed to be. Zeroed out.
I know, I don't understand why we have and why we've expended $44 in that.
No, this is still revenue, isn't it? Yeah, this is still revenue.
Yeah,
This
I
is
don't know.
different.
So
Well,
this
I'm
is-
not expended, I'm sorry, why we've gotten $44 unless it's something that comes from,
It comes from the county, I guess, when there's like tickets paid or
County
something like
for
that.
the
We get
tickets,
It's like
okay.
a $2.
so rather than education, it's, okay.
But I think I thought our contract with the sheriff's offices, we were supposed to pass that to them. But I mean, it's $44.
Yeah,
I don't know, we need to look into that, make sure that
we're not, so we're supposed to pass that.
I mean, it's not been a lot lately, but.
I'm not sure if that does,
I thought there was some fund that we were supposed to give them
Yeah.
when we signed the contract with them.
I would think that would be it.
Yeah, I thought so, but we can check.
Other miscellaneous revenues, yard sale, and this is always confusing for everyone because they think we charge for yard sales.
Yeah.
And we don't charge for yard sales. We ask that they get a permit for a yard sale, but there's no cost for that.
Correct.
So what's the other miscellaneous revenue? What is that?
That's a lot of revenue.
A lot of different things.
That's miscellaneous.
Well, what are those things?
Well, that's when we had received the funds that came in for the fireworks and things like that, that all comes through here, and there's it's just,
Miscellaneous.
we get, just like checks for, we overpaid something or something like that, it's just miscellaneous, you print that out, it's like 3 or 4 pages worth of just,
So in this, in the past, we've gotten in 2024, 22,476. We budgeted 28,000. We're jumping it up $19,300. It's almost $20,000 based on a projected amount. So where are we getting that? Where are we going to get that those additional monies? I know that we brought in 31,000. That probably, if that's the case, that would be the fireworks monies that came in, which was 10,000 to 200.
10,000.
But I don't know about us projecting up to 47,300. Where is that? Why do we do that?
that was just, aiming a little high, we could probably reduce that to,
Or reduce it down to $30,000 or 35,000.
Well, it's showing actual May 31,000. I mean, we don't know where it comes from. I just think it's best, I agree with the mayor, to be more conservative, and there's no real basis.
That would almost bring it back down to 28, since we don't really know where it's come from, or 30, just to be on the safe side.
let's do 28.
Sounds good.
Which is 19,300. But you're gonna have to figure something out with that. Okay, I don't have anything else on that one. Let's go to.
No, just Mayor, I do have
Yes.
a request, maybe, since we don't charge for yard sales and no funds coming in, maybe that should be deleted from line 44.
We talked about that last time, about taking that verbiage and changing the verbiage, taking the yard sale off or redoing that verbiage. I don't think we can drop that line. Remember how some of these are zeroed out because it has to be there for a certain amount of years? So I don't think we can drop that line,
The verbiage.
the verbiage.
Yes, is what else could we call it, because we don't charge for the yard sale.
We could do other other miscellaneous revenue, so that's where they dump monies, where they, yeah.
Or just miscellaneous permits in case we develop any.
Steve?
That's all right.
Well,
Yeah,
but
can
like,
we change that, the verbiage on that line item, so it just says other miscellaneous revenues? And
Yeah,
get rid of the yard sale part?
yeah, because that's not just permits, that's like monies that come in for like the fireworks, or if somebody, you know.
Right, well, there, I mean, after the slash, either
We just
drop
get
it.
rid of, just.
I think it's right in the general ledger, like the account number, but I think this, because we copy and paste, I copy and paste this budget from last year, I just think I missed taking that out of there, so I'll
Yeah,
take
because we
that.
talked about that last year.
Because,
Okay,
you know, it's hard enough to get people to get their permits without
right.
making them think we're charging for it.
And what is canceled revenue?
I have no idea what that is. But it was in here because if we
It's
had.
in here, so I just didn't know. There was something in 2024, there's nothing for 2025, nor did we budget anything for it. I just was wondering when I was gonna do that, what that was.
I will take a look at it.
Okay. So let's go in, let's start with our expenditures. If everyone's ready to start with our expenditures. Start on the first page. This is the training. Of course, we've added in the additional pension payments that needs to go in there. And when we go through our training year to date, Commissioner DeVito, I guess you've only had $100 that you've expended.
Well, I've expended more, I just haven't claimed it.
Okay.
And the main thing I want to claim going forward, we probably all do if you're staying at the conference hotel, to avoid paying the tax on the hotel, then the city needs to pay for that with the city credit card, because you can't use the tax certificate if the city is not the payor.
Right, and so they have to do that if
Right,
anybody else is staying, but I think everybody's made their hotel reservations, correct? Have you
Yes.
made yours,
I-
you made yours, Commissioner Lori?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Commissioner Moore, are you going?
I was thinking, it's too late to,
There's, the main hotel is sold out. There are alternate hotels,
okay.
which I've done before. You just have to come over to the convention, and I'll show you around if you do come.
Right,
But there are still rooms available, and you might be able to, you can try and see if they do have something that opens up, because the block, some people cancel the reservations.
Okay.
I mean, it's really, it's a great networking option, it's a great, there's seminars for us to go to and educate. It's really, it's valuable, you learn so much there.
Wait,
I would say, but
which commissioner is Commissioner Moore?
she is Commissioner Group 3.
Three.
Okay, so,
That's not mine, it must have been from, Commissioner Banks.
Right, okay.
Yeah, right.
okay, I was gonna say, it shows actual to date, 310, right?
She's spent 310.
Okay, so just to let you know, the conference fee, and I don't know,
Six something, yeah.
is 6 something, and you definitely want to get a good rate for your hotel, because we cap out at, you know,
Well, the alternate,
1,500.
the alternate hotels usually charge the same price. That's what
Okay.
part of the maintenance list, which is $299.
So, but if you want to go, now's the time to register, because I think if you register in person, doesn't the fee go up?
It is, I think it is higher after.
Yeah, you
Right.
register, I'm registering in advance.
And it's higher as it is.
Yes, I think it's,
Especially
especially,
more if you were going, let us know so that we can show you around and tell you what to do and what not.
so advertising, so when we come to advertising, in the past, we've budgeted 5,000. In 2024, we spent 5315, and then this year, it looks like we've expended 638. What are you, I know we've got, because we've taken advertising dollars for Commissioner Lori that we're gonna be using, but what do we use those, I mean, with the 5,000, that's for, you use that for when we do all of our advertising that we have that's required in the paper, correct?
Correct.
Is that where that comes out of?
I believe so, yes.
Yeah, and Mayor, I was thinking, when I saw 2024, well, 2023, it says 0 audited. That, either that's a mistake or it was in a different line item.
I think it was a different one.
They put it in a different, I think they put it in a different line item and realized it should have been in this, it should have come in here.
I think what bumped up our advertising in prior years was we had, we had a lot of ordinance changes, code change, we had the whole land development code. We
And we also,
made a lot of changes.
we have the budget advertising, which isn't even in here yet.
No.
Because we have to, we want the display ads. We
The,
know the display ads room for that. For our budget, when we do that, because that's a half page.
I just wanna make sure that we don't have that we're not setting ourselves up for a shortfall there.
yes,
Especially when you're saying that you're gonna have, if you're projecting that we're gonna have a lot of growth
Right.
or changes here, that growth is gonna have to be advertised.
Okay.
So I just wanna make sure that we're not,
So would you feel more comfortable moving that to the 5,000?
I don't know, I mean.
I think Commissioner Roy has a very good point that when the advertisement that's gonna come up very shortly for our budget, those are larger
Package, yeah.
and those are mandatory and they're larger. So those costs have to be included. I don't know what they were last year.
We will have to do a notice of tax increase, which is per page.
I do want to point this out. Each one of these budget templates, based on whatever rate they were all balanced. So revenue matched expenditures. If we're reducing some of these revenues, these were already balanced at what we had before. They have to go technically lower or we move things around, but just be cognizant of the changes we made in here as well. Okay, and we'll go back and make sure it's balanced, but I just want to make you guys aware.
Okay, but I think the mayor has a good point. We need to make sure there's enough to cover the mandatory advertisement. And this does not reflect what we reallocated for Commissioner Roy's training, right? The
That has to be-
actual, okay.
My actual is like too high, I don't know, or projected for.
Well, projected is just an automatic
Kind of
calculation,
Yeah,
so.
the projected was just a prorated for the months
Now,
moving forward.
moving down the aid to private organizations, line 63, we had bumped that up this year because we gave the $5,000
To the animal shelter,
to the animal, or to ARC, for the
Yeah.
computer,
for the animal trailer.
the trailer, so we don't need, it used to be at, what, 2,000?
It used to be 2,000 and then,
Or was it 1,000? Okay,
and then we budgeted for 1,000 in 2024 and
Then we
then,
bumped it to 6. for
so
the-
that still left us with 1,000.
Right, so we can go back down on that.
And that has in there, it looks like year to date, we've done 5,100. Do we know what that additional 100 was for, Steve?
Oh, what was it? There was something right after the,
Was it
Pink Out
the
Putnam?
Pink Out Putnam?
yeah, that's
Oh,
right.
so it was Pink Out Putnam.
I was to assume, yes.
Okay,
Okay,
so that would
thank
be
you.
about $100. So that leaves us with $900 because we've got that on the agenda today.
Mhm.
So that we're gonna have to look at that. Okay, so that brings us back up to 15, that's 1,500 that we have.
Mhm.
And then other, what is other?
That's just kind of like a catch-all, just if you guys, you buy supplies, we buy, I don't know, paper or pens, just, it's just kind of a catch-all category.
Okay, is that where like if we work through lunch and we do a lunch, does that come out of that? Is
That would be exactly,
And
that's
name tags and placards.
Name tag?
correct, exactly, things
Okay.
like that. Yeah,
Okay.
It's just a catch-all. It's like business supplies or office supplies, if you want to call it that.
Or, for example, if we give someone a plaque,
Correct, that's where it come out of.
like our retirees.
So your footnote at the bottom, it says 5 commissioners are part-time, and it gave the salaries. Training is divided equally, but if a commissioner cannot attend a training session, then the dollars can be used by another commissioner seeking additional training. Why did we add that footnote in there? Because that has to come for us for approval.
That was,
That's just not an automatic that a commissioner can use somebody else's training money without having permission to do so.
it was in the comment that was there last year,
For all,
so I just assumed that was correct.
So-
Yeah.
So,
for transparency, I didn't touch it. I thought it was something that needed to be in there. I didn't put it in there.
Yeah, no, it was in there last year.
That's.
We'll take it out.
And
Yes, no
then-
problem.
And then down here, Mayor Michelle Myers, you spelled Michelle incorrectly,
Oh, yeah.
after all this time.
That was there too.
We didn't touch that.
Charles.
And term began and term ends, so my term ends,
And
so those terms.
Commissioner Burke needs to be updated as
And
well.
Commissioner Burton's is the same too.
Can we just take all that out of here?
No, I mean, it's not.
It's fine to be in there,
It's fine to have
except for that
terms.
other language, but make sure that you, please make sure you have the terms and
Right, those are out of date.
those are out of date.
And
I'll
also,
take care of it.
I don't think it hurts to have our salaries in there.
No, I think it's good so
Yeah.
that people understand how much our salaries are.
She doesn't end until 2027. 4 years.
Is that what it
Yeah,
says,
yeah.
2027?
I think Belinda Morrissey is.
Yeah, she's.
Oh, yeah, she's 2028.
Yeah.
28, okay.
Yeah, so she.
I know, I think I don't know if Lisa's correct or correct. Because mine's October.
Yours is 26
Yeah,
and,
that's right.
and Commissioner DeVito's is
So you gotta change all that anyway.
Okay. Okay.
That's right.
I think
Let's
they
go
only
on to the
get
city
registered.
manager, let's go on to the city manager page. So you have a footnote in here in the very beginning that the assistant city manager, new position in 2025, that 50% of that is going to this salaries, which when you put salaries, I really wish rather than salaries that you could make that executive salaries. So that people understand that that's not, that those are for the those are for directors, executives. So those should really be executive salaries.
Yes, ma'am.
And then come over, and I just want to make sure that in the adopted budget, amended, it looks like we've only expended 22,205, and I am sure that
Yes.
since Assistant Manager, Christina, that it should be higher than that. So please make sure that that is, that's correct, that's the correct amount, and that you have and that we are adequately, in our budgeted amount, because we've got a $45,000 increase.
so,
Yes, ma'am.
could I, because I had a question about that one also. Okay, so this is the page where I believe at a prior meeting, our finance director told us that Mr. Brillhart was actually paid out of line 74.
It is.
Okay, what I don't understand about line 74, when you have, maybe this is one of those projected things,
Don't look at the projected number.
pardon?
Just look at the projected number.
And we'll forget the problem.
Okay, but just to be clear, because it's a significant increase.
She's fine.
No, because I would like to take a break. But, so for that line 74, it says year-to-date May actual 68,394, and it says that was, the travel expense associated with city manager searches, and as well, Mr. Brohart's pay, right?
Correct.
So why is there the big jump?
Ignore the projected.
It's projected, just
Just ignore the
You're
projected
saying
number.
ignore it.
ignore it, yes.
Okay, and then we have 0 budgeted for this line item. So then when you go back up to the top to line 66, and Commissioner Ward, thank you for alerting me to the fact that the first 2 numbers
Mhm.
are the actual line item. Okay, so I was getting
Yeah,
messed
it's
up.
very wrong, account number.
Okay, so when you go to 66 and it says, actual 22,000. So what was paid out of there? Was that, Charles Rudd was,
That would be Derek. I don't know, yeah. it's Derek.
so what exactly was paid out of the 22,000?
I'd have to get the detail from Sheila.
Okay, but I'm assuming that,
Where, when did you start here?
I didn't start here till June, sir. Yes, sir.
Right, so I know it wouldn't be in May, and I just wanna make sure, I think we voted that, for the time that Christina Marie served as interim city manager,
That
that,
might have been the difference.
but wait a minute, that part, I think we separated out her salary into the regular salary that she was receiving as CRA manager, and then an additional amount to, for, the interim city manager responsibilities. So I'm hoping that 22,000 represents some of that.
Yeah,
I'll look into that.
That don't add up, that number doesn't add up,
Right,
so
well,
it should be more than that.
right, but she wasn't, well, I don't know, when you were out of the room, Steve said he didn't know what went into the 22,000.
Okay.
it's Derek working on Charles left before the budget year.
So, and Mayor, I have another question.
Yeah.
About that. So the budget for 2026 is 149,625. And as I understand it, that is the city manager 100% of his salary. And then it would be 50% of the assistant city manager's salary because the other 50% is allocated to the CRA. That's how we get to that?
That is correct.
Okay, what I'm not understanding is when we, under the iterations of the budget at a lower millage rate, it seems like this is backwards. You're allocating more of Christina Marie's time to the general fund budget and reducing, one of the other budgets had her time to the CRA drop down to 25%. And I don't understand why that would happen. It's in there, maybe it was just I didn't know if there was a reason.
Because I think it didn't get changed, I think at one point in time, they had talked about that they would do 25% and then the 75% out of CRAs. So probably it just did not get changed. Is that,
It was
That would make
split.
sense.
would that make
That
sense?
would make
Because
sense,
I
yes.
know you had talked about a 25-75,
Yeah.
and we thought that it should be divided equally,
50-50.
50-50.
Okay, so, because what I didn't understand is for the lower millage rate, one of the iterations, it looked like it did the opposite, that it gave the 75,
And
25.
that's in the 8.5914 is where it says that Marie allocated 75% to city manager department, 25% to CRA.
I would think it would be flipped if we were
Right,
short
we're trying to
of
save
money.
money, yeah.
So, anyway, but, so the goal is 50%. And, okay, so Mayor, maybe, I know you want to make sure that is the correct budgeted amount for executive
And
salaries.
even when you look at this in the budgeted amount, if that's the case,
Yes,
it's still the 149,625, so that would have been higher because we would have done 75% and not 25%. So we need to make sure that this, because we're going off of this for our expenses.
Yeah, this should have been all 50-50.
So let's go to staff salaries. I do have a question about staff salaries.
okay, Mayor, I apologize.
I know you have, I know you need a break. Okay, I'm gonna adjourn this for 5 minutes.
Thank you.
Sorry about the spider, everyone, it scared me.
It's okay, we understand. Commissioner Burton's not back yet. I thought she was on us all.
Minutes.
No,
Okay, got it. Is that how much we're paying him?
No, ma'am.
Here we got a deal.
Okay.
Let's go back, we'll start here on the city manager page. Staff salaries, so when you say staff salaries, have you, taken into account, everything's taken into account, any increases, correct?
Correct.
Okay, so as we go through this and we see staff salaries, there's nothing in place in here for any, additional monies. Have you done anything for any increases?
Yeah.
3%, 2%? Have you done, is that in here?
Yeah, every budget accounts for a 5% increase for salaries, for the employees.
So you didn't do it separately? You did it, you combined it into salaries, you didn't do a separate, or,
How'd you put that through?
We did a 5, a 3, a 2, and a 0.
Right.
So
but
we don't
this is
know-
presenting
so
as
we
just
don't,
five.
so we don't know what those are.
We have reports for it. This baseline started out at 5.
Okay.
Which is included.
Commissioner Zito, do you have a question?
I do. So, I don't know, some of the salary increases seem to say there's a percent increase out there. I saw quite a few 4%, but you're saying it's variable?
No, it's not variable. On this budget, it's a 5% increase for the employees for salaries, and wage.
Okay,
We
so,
have another report that's not here. We ran several to see what the differences are, but for the baseline, we went with the high millage rate and the 5%.
okay,
salary.
and so I did have a question about that, and so, FICA and retirement are all adjusted with the 5% increase salary.
So the pension, yes.
Correct.
Do you guys know off the top of your head what the difference between 5% and 3% are?
We're gonna have to know that.
Yeah.
Right.
I just was wondering, is it?
Off the top of my head, I do not have that.
And that's throughout, so that's throughout with all salaries, we're gonna need to know those, however you wanna do those in those increments. Because we have to make a determination based on where we're coming in as to whether or not, I mean, there are some times in a bare bones budget where we're limited with any increases. So that's just something that we have to know so that we can go back and forth with. Do you agree, Commission?
Yes,
That's why I asked for it.
I think it
I
would be,
understand that it's a lot to have that already.
Yeah.
but Mayor, I do agree, and I think it would be helpful to have the total for staff salaries,
That's,
the total, and then, what the base of the salary is now, and then what it would be with a varying percentage applied.
I agree.
and I think that's a good count, and just have to do this now.
Okay. Health and life insurance, you don't have, and every year we have gone up on this, and I know you say you're shopping it, but, have we gotten anything from Sheila that shows an estimation for what, because I know she had to send in the paperwork for the health insurance, correct? She had to do that, I believe, in June,
I
is that
believe
correct,
so.
Christina? Sheila had to send, remember she had to have that?
And for estimate, yes, and, I think that was all part of it, but it was based on a draft, budget, not so the numbers aren't solidified basically.
Okay,
Mayor, but right before the meeting this morning, I got an email from Sheila on the FMIT renewal, and the information is in there, it's just not part of this current budget.
I think it just.
But is it more?
We just got it this morning.
so is it more?
I haven't even looked at it, we came right in here right before I.
Did you see it at all, Steve?
I believe so. I think actually everything, like, there's 4 plans on the Blue Cross, or Blue Cross Blue Shield, whatever insurance we have, I'm sorry, but I think Sheila said we only use 2, and we have like a high and a low.
We do, yeah.
And 3 of the 4 actually decreased and 1 went up, but it really wasn't that much. I was really surprised, actually.
But it did adjust.
It did adjust, yeah. And I said 3 of the 4 went down compared to last year.
So that needs to be accounted for, whether you're shopping it or not, we need to make sure we budgeted for any increases.
Correct.
But then, Mayor, could I follow up on that?
Yes, ma'am.
So I had the same thought for health insurance, down here in line 81, auto, property, general insurance, any kind of insurance that we have, even if we shop it around, I think it's unrealistic to assume that there will not be an increase, that it could possibly stay the same.
Yeah, because every year it's going up. And I don't even know with this auto, property, general insurance, what that,
That's in general.
is that the one that's shared across all
Correct.
categories?
Yes.
Okay, so we share that cost with all the other departments, is that correct?
But what I'm saying, there's numerous in all the different, and these aren't technically departments, I guess they're budget segments or something.
Yeah.
Insurance, workers' comp, all that, they run through every budget segment.
Yeah.
So I brought it up for here and for whatever, other line items it appears in. I just think that more likely than not, there's going to be an increase.
If I may, Commissioner, when I first came here, one of the things I was looking at was, what we're paying for and looking at contracts, I still am. One of them was the insurance. We were approached by Brown & Brown, which is a broker. They also deal with FMIT. We were told that they would not give us the quote until FMIT gave us theirs. We just received it today, so I was gonna call Brown & Brown. Brown & Brown has multiple quotes. I asked her, can you give me the quote? Again, she said, no, not till you get FMIT. I said, can you at least give me a percentage of decrease or increase so I can let the commission know? The representative from Brown & Brown told me that she has sitting on a proposal on a savings of 25% for the city. It's significant, and it had not been shopped for 10 years. So while it does go up every year, that is correct. But if it's shopped every year like we do our regular insurance, that should not be the case. We should be always looking for good deals. I believe wholeheartedly we're gonna get at least 20 to 25% savings if what she's
And
telling
we've
me.
sent them all the pertinent information they need.
Yes, ma'am, we sent them everything that they asked for. Yes, ma'am. Sheila got that taken care of 2 months ago when I first got here.
Property, cybersecurity, it's like four different things I know that we all get packaged from FMIT.
Right.
So if Broad Run can do it, I mean, their broker, they write for several different lines, so they have multiple companies they can go to, so.
Correct.
It would make sense that they could maybe give us a better rate.
Yes, and they were sent everything except cost. We didn't share any cost. Of course, they deal with FMIT already as one of the people that they go to. All we did was send declaration and exactly what the coverages were, and they took it from there. So we do anticipate a good savings there. And that's not reflected in these numbers.
And that please make sure that when you're doing that, that it includes the commission as well. So that any legal fees or anything that comes from the commission, that's included.
Right.
Right, but I think we run into this every year. FMIT can't put their rates out until the property appraisers have finished their work. There's a lag. We always have to set our budget before FMIT is able to do rates, and this is for all cities.
FMIT will sends us in August, we get the estimate, which tells us what it is every quarter, and that follows, because they know we're doing a budget.
Correct.
They're cities, so we do get a number from them, and
So you're saying they provided that with you today, and so you'll have that update for us?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Anything else that anybody sees on this?
vision.
Just my only question is, what are operating supplies?
Yeah, I've got that. And it looks like we've
Supplies.
spent 18, but we have office supplies above that to where we've already expended 1,000. So I don't know what the operating supplies are.
That can
Is
probably
that-
be combined into one.
Huh?
That can probably be combined into one, just office
Just to
supplies.
make sure that
or
there's not something that separates them out that.
Yeah, I think-
We'll check into that.
Okay, and then, my other comment is, for several years ago, I don't know whether we still are, I'm looking at line 79, membership and dues, and it lists, and this is under city manager, it lists League of Cities, Chamber of Commerce, Court Association, notary fees, Florida City County Management Association. In prior years, we had a membership in the Florida Trust for Historic Preservation, because we have significant historical properties. I don't know whether we still are. Charles suggested that we put that in the CRA budget, because a significant number of the properties are downtown. But we have opportunities there, and although I guess we cannot pay for advertising out of the CRA budget, but we can be a member, and there are benefits to being a member. So I just wanted to bring that
So
up.
as you're going through that CRA, when we're going through this, you're developing the CRA budget, and that's something, Christina, you would just make sure that. Okay, so let's move on. If everybody is ready, we're gonna move on to 10, because we've got to get this, we have 50 minutes. So let's go to 10.
Oh, this is finance?
Yep.
Okay.
Our audit fees. So when you look over our audit fees and what we've paid based on what we budgeted, and it says need to discuss. So what do we need to discuss here?
Oh, Mayor, that's line 105, right?
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, yeah.
All right.
Gentlemen,
I'm sorry, I want to add one thing, some clarity. You had brought it up earlier, Commissioner. I don't know if we stated it, but the percent decrease, increase, that's the difference between the amended budget and the current budget. That's where the 4% came. We were talking about salaries. It is at 5% in this spreadsheet, in the math, in the macro. So I just want to be clear on that. I apologize. That's just a note for us to see percentage difference between last year's budget and what we're proposing.
Okay. And then Commissioner, you meant Commissioner me.
Yes, ma'am.
Other commissioners.
I'm sorry.
Okay, that's fine. Okay. And Mayor, I think the last thing you said was
In our,
on
yeah,
the right-hand side in line 105 in red, it says need to
need
discuss.
to discuss
The audit fees.
on 105. What do we need to discuss?
Um,
Other than the fact we are way over on
This-
audit
this-
fees.
This was an internal note for us on the audit fees. This was something I put a note in to discuss with Steve.
Okay,
Did
Mayor, oh,
Did
sorry.
y'all discuss it?
We
Did you
haven't,
figure it out?
we hadn't got all the way through that. We had other discussions and took notes off of the others. This was something we had to come back to.
Okay, but Mayor, I do have a question about that line.
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, so the budgeted amount for 2026 is 10,400. It's the same, and I need our city manager and finance director to hear this because they're the ones who are gonna have to answer it. The adopted budget or amended budget is the same as budgeted for 2026 for line 105 audit fees. But it's my understanding that we're still under contract and that contract has an automatic percentage increase for every year.
I was under the understanding that this was gonna be the last year. We've got one more year on the
I
contract.
don't know, that's what I'm asking.
I thought this year was last year.
Okay.
2025 is the last year.
I believe so, yeah. You have to look at that contract.
I know.
Well, then if that's the case, if it's 2025, then we need to be figuring out what we're gonna do for our auditors, because that means that contract's over.
Correct.
So,
Yeah.
okay,
So we don't,
it's gonna have to, when it actually expires, so that we can make sure that we are covered.
and then,
This contract is for more?
James Moore Company.
but, and that was a multi-year contract and every year,
Yeah, there was a step increase, yes.
that's it, yes, stepped increase.
I have it right here.
So, Mayor, I had another question
Yes,
about
ma'am.
finance. Are we still using Debbie Peacock? She was here one day when I was signing checks. Are we, if we're still, using her services, where, if so, if that's a yes, where are we paying her from?
So that was Debbie Peacock, is my understanding, was only here providing for the fire pension, correct?
Correct.
She
To
was
do the
showing,
fire pension, that's what she worked
how
on,
to.
both 2022, 23, and 23, 24, is that correct?
That's correct, yeah.
Okay, where did we pay her out of, and do we know how much it was?
That,
That's
Came
what
out of-
Commissioner DeVito, that's what you're asking for.
Correct.
I believe it came out of finance, and off the top of my head, I don't remember what it was. I believe it was like probably,
Was it out of professional services? Because in professional services, you only have $515.
Yeah, I'll talk to Nancy and see where we ended up putting that.
Back to the audit.
Yes.
We have a contract with them up until a year ending September 30, 2025. So that would be for,
Thank you, Commissioner Lloyd, for bringing that to our attention. So
and the fee is 52 too.
September 2025 is for our auditors.
The fee is for this year,
It's $52,200.
but we are going over that because that's the fee for the regular audit.
Right.
And,
And then there's also CRA.
well, there's also the CRA audit, which will be in the CRA budget, but it's the extended, it's the late audit.
The extension of all that we have to do.
Right.
Yes, Christina.
Just wanted to note for the conversation that there was also an additional expense with James Moore, when I believe they filled out our report for JLAC, or, I'm sorry, Steve, my
Oh, was
memory's a
it
little
the-
clouded, but
Oh,
it
the
was an extra
capital.
$8,000, perhaps we should budget for that, it was outside and in addition to their original.
Yeah, it was the
contract.
CAFR, the consolidated annual financial report.
Wait, an additional fee for who?
A CAFR, CAFR. those.
And
Certain-
where did Julie indicate on just the staff salary discussion, where did they her up?
She's been out of professional fees also.
So you're in 2025. So this was.
Professional services?
Yes.
But so,
Where did we pay Julianne out of?
That's what I just said.
Right.
He's saying professional services.
It should have been out of professional services.
That couldn't be because that's only $515.
I
Other, oh, no.
wondered about that for a while.
Well, I guess we know what's going on.
I don't see it in here, and I don't know the amount.
Who needed?
So you need to give Julianne what we paid her in there.
We'll find out and we'll report back.
I mean, are we still, or is she still around? I think she is, isn't she?
On the basis.
Is she gonna be in, around in 2026 as well?
Yeah, she's not.
I don't believe
That's
so.
big.
Well, we have to allocate funds for that, and it
Well,
would,
that's what I mean, I
Right.
wanna make sure kind of,
well, I'm saying we need to know what we paid, and if,
Yeah.
I mean, we have to approve having her.
yes.
Okay, so let's move on to legal. And you've got a footnote down here, other legal services cover the anticipated legal fees for the commissioners. No, that is, outside legal services. Counsel is if they need to additional, information. There've been times when they've brought in, like they did one, they brought, an attorney in to consult with our attorney who had some expertise in an area, so it's not just for commissioners. So please make sure you adjust that it's, when they need additional legal assistance.
We'll just take that out.
And-
Wait a minute, Mayor,
Yeah.
if I could, I think the descriptions are correct, but the, monies are in the incorrect lines. Like, outside legal counsel is, I think it says this correctly. Right, outside legal counsel is outside counsel when our city attorney needs other
Consulting,
expertise.
yes, he needs.
For its other expertise for our regular city business to assist the city attorney. So,
So that.
other legal services is,
Anticipated legal fees for the commissioners, but there's nothing in there, nor have they had anything in there.
but what I'm saying is they're reversed.
That 175 there for year-to-date actual, that is for my attorney. So
Yeah,
that should
I
be,
knew that,
yeah,
that's
so that should be
yours,
more.
yeah.
Right, so
We
Mayor,
didn't budget anything for that.
right, but the figures that are, there for outside legal counsel, they belong, I believe, in other legal services.
Okay.
They belong one line up.
Okay.
Um,
And then also over here, if you look, commissioners, they budgeted for 46,000, well, the contract is for 48,000.
oh, no, yes,
So I don't know why we went down $2,000 on our legal fees.
Well, there's- projected, I think.
That is 48,000, yeah, I noticed that.
So,
over there.
Just change it for you.
You just figure it out, you know? Times 12.
Hopefully,
Yeah,
we'll
that's
help.
what we're trying to balance.
right, so it seems like it's missing $2,000.
It might have just been changed in oversight when we were trying to balance the budget.
Questions, who took it?
I sincerely doubt Mr. Holmes is on board with that.
They're not on board with that. So let's go to the next, page 12, expenditures, utility billing, and customer service. Our workers' comp in here, we've actually paid out $4,499, only budgeted $870. Where did that increase? What is that?
It may be just how the allocation is allocated towards that line item.
So we paid that into workers' comp and it's,
Well,
The allocation, it we may be weighted just a little too high. It may need to be allocated out onto the departments.
because the workers' comp is something that we pay
yes,
all just one,
but
and then you separate it and allocate it to the departments.
Correct, yeah,
Yeah,
it's
so
percentage
then
per
it's-
department.
Just off, as far as this one. But I do know earlier in the year, it seemed like the workers' comp, I kept saying it was way up or way down on different departments, so we might just want to check that.
yeah, because year-to-date workers' comp.
Yeah. it's-
In this one in finance, 653, year-to-date 556. So that sounds, but when you come to this one, that's way off. And then you've gone in here and you've budgeted $6,800 for that.
But workers' comp too is also based on employees and like what they do. So office people are less than like
Right.
utility, like, so Corey, the meter reader, is gonna be more of a liability to the city than, I would be, because I'm sitting at my desk all day, so that may have something to do with it also.
Okay.
We might just wanna
We'll
check
check
this
that.
out.
Just don't know with the $6,800,
It is.
why we budgeted $6,800 for that. Yes, Commissioner DeVito.
Okay, so I had some questions, a couple line items. The very first one at the top, the salaries, that is actually executive salaries.
Yes.
So, it looks like what we have paid is projected to come out well below the amended budget by about $9,000.
Don't look at the projected column.
Pardon?
Don't look at the projected column.
Okay, all right, don't look at that, all right. And then, in this department and a number of departments, the line item for retirement, there's a line item for retirement, and this one, it's 120. It's consistently a couple, $3,000 over. Well, that's the projected, what was budgeted.
The projected.
Okay, okay, so we're budgeting the same amount as we had last year, and don't look at the projected.
No, he's budgeting over that because we had an increase.
Yeah, a little
Right,
bit.
but it's small, it's below $1,000. Okay, all right, so don't look at that line, and then, one question I have is, I don't know how this is gonna work out, but I noticed in the little tiny print at the bottom of the page that says, who the employees are: billing manager, customer service position, meter reader, and receptionist. So it appears that functionally that the receptionist in utility billing is now functioning as the receptionist for the entire main office building.
So that's correct, yes.
Okay, so I don't know if that should reflect a division
A
between.
shared
budget-
cost,
Right,
shared cost is what
thank
you're
you.
saying, yes. And that's from a security standpoint that we're doing that, so that is from a security standpoint.
Right, and I don't need an answer today,
Yeah.
but I just wanted to,
If we need to share that cost.
take note of that.
Did we get a grant? It says here that we got the handheld meter reader annual fee, that the grant for digital smart meter upgrade, 15,000. Did we get a grant for that?
I think that was just,
We're hoping for?
That's just a note, we're gonna go after it. And get permission from you all to do so, but we have to find it, and that's something that's definitely out there that we can do.
In the meantime, I know she's had some issues with that meter reader.
yeah, and I think she said that, like, they don't even service them anymore.
Exactly,
It's
so we
sold.
know we're gonna have to replace that. Is that part of this $3,000?
Oh, no, it's part of the 15, it's, let's see here, where that. Oh, crap, I took it out.
We did take it out. For COVID.
So you've taken it out 3,000, we know, we gotta have that, that's
We do.
important, so you've taken 3,000 out on hopes that we're gonna get a grant, and there's no guarantee, so you need to account for that.
Jocelyn,
Yes.
the meter she showed me was like 15,500 is what she needed.
Is what she needs, 15,500
15,000?
Yes.
for the
Yeah.
meter, okay, is that what you were gonna say, Christina?
No, ma'am.
Go ahead, yes, ma'am.
I just wanted to back up, just for the sake of your conversation, to the finance department. On the footnote for finance, it references one accounts payable clerk, and I just wanted to remind the commission and staff that Nancy does serve a dual role now. I don't know if that was accounted for.
No, it wasn't.
Mr. Brillhart changed that position when we hired Nancy in April. It was for half-time AP and half-time clerk assistant, admin assistant. So the budget should be reflected accordingly.
That budget goes into that of, wouldn't it be out of finance? Doesn't she work over in the building?
Half-time finance and half-time she's support to the clerk. So that comes out of the city manager's budget. So that's what Christina's saying,
Okay.
just like we're doing a shared cost with a receptionist, we might have to do the shared cost with that as well. From auditing standpoint.
We should probably do that.
So we need to put that back in there, and is that something that, if that 15,000, is that something for Better Place?
That probably could be actually.
We use that for Better Place, with Better Place, it's equipment.
As long as it lasts more than 5 years.
Yeah.
Any equipment?
That's, we need to ask
Yeah.
our attorney.
So that's something that's why it's Better Place,
It's technically for infrastructure.
but he has to have,
If
yeah,
it lasts 5 years and it's something, yeah, we might be able to, but we need to,
We need a technical
yeah,
analysis of that one.
a legal determination.
But it's a great idea.
yeah, because if we're gonna have to do that, he's gotta have, we can't bill him if we don't have the proper equipment to bill him, and the last thing we want is something that's on the blink.
Well, in the old days, we used to have to manually read all meters, and it used to be 5 people over there that spent a week going around. That was incredibly labor intensive and expensive.
But the labor is more.
So,
Okay.
let's go to page 13. I don't mean to be moving us, but we've got, still have a lot to cover, so we're gonna go to page 13. Other, what is other in here?
Wow.
Well, that would,
When we were going through it, it's the AE firms, which this is actually the.
So you've got other professional services, which I think that really should have been Zeb Cohen.
AE
And
firms. Oh.
But there's nothing except in the line that says other.
right.
Well, you guys have a note here, 10%. Cohen and.
What's the exact?
Mid-tower.
So, it should probably be under other professional services.
and if you wanna break those out, because, he's our planner, and then you've got our engineer. So if you wanna break those out, I think you need to realign those differently. Other professional services, we'd like to know how much we're paying for planning and zoning, and how much we're paying for engineering services.
Okay.
So is that Kellen will be up in other professional services and then Mid-Tower will be down in the consulting?
Ooh,
Well, I don't know that it's other, it's
I'm sorry.
professional services to me. I mean, this is planning and zoning, and Mayor, I don't know, I'm just assuming, some of what Mid-Tower does is the engineering for the permits. So I'm assuming that they would appear under public works as well, or city hall. I'm assuming we would pay them other services for other kinds.
For other.
Yeah, but I agree with you, it would
And
be
some of
helpful.
that's a pass-through too for
Yes.
mid-hours, and mid-hour can be a pass-through too, so,
But they do plans, but I agree with you that it would be good to see broken out what is going to Zeb Cohen and what is going to the engineering, because they're different services.
they are. Yeah, so other professional services, like we budgeted 5,000, we've spent none, and then you've taken that out as 5,000. And then,
I'm just going to other than front, so, I'll break it out like we just.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm assuming the correct figures are here, it's just not
Right.
very well explained or very well categorized.
And that'll go up and down based on planning and new, whatever.
okay, so let's go on to 14.
14, so that's City Hall. There we go. This was put in as a separate section of the budget when Mr. Bud was here, and we worked with Julianne, CPA, I believe, Julianne Klein. I was wondering, since there are no employees under the City Hall section, why is there a workers' comp, line here?
That we spent
147
$2,100 on the employee for that, yes.
on the
We've spent expended $2,100, and we budgeted for 48. So, and there, you're right, there's no employee here unless it's just a shared cost where they're sharing it across all departments. I don't know.
Oh, you know what I think that was? I think that's a carryover. I think before the city manager department was created, I think that was in here. So I think that's just a carryover.
So this department has always been here, it's just city manager represented.
Yeah,
And we
correct.
broke city manager out, and that line needs to be reallocated.
Professional services, so I'm wondering if this is where Julianne's coming in.
Yes.
And so that's coming in at $80,976 that we have paid out.
Okay, and what line is that?
That's line 150. I'm sorry, 149.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, right. And again, that's the one I asked about, the downtown partnership agreement? Because actually, isn't our contract between the CRA and the, downtown partnership?
Have to look at that, I believe it
I mean,
is.
every time.
And that should be coming up, isn't that coming up for?
Yes, ma'am, it
Discussion
expires
and
in the
renewal.
fiscal year.
Okay, so we need to, that's one we need to be looking at too.
Yes,
I think it's just it's annual, I think it's an annual contract.
But I think we enter into that contract as the CRA board.
Yeah.
And I'm sure we did because we paid for it out of CRA, so I'm
Right.
pretty sure that it was out of CRA.
Right, so, let's see, we're on professional services. Okay, so you think, so Julianne Klein, this is the,
We
Um,
think that's,
Yeah,
Okay,
okay,
but-
double check.
okay, we hit this one before when I had my initial questions, and part of it is attorney fees and pension plan actuary reports for the audit, and my question is, that was attorney fees and pension plan actuary for the police pension plan,
It was police and fire,
police and fire.
so it's just fire now.
Okay, but we have had the audit issue having to do with the police, annuity.
Oh, I'm sorry, no, this is,
that's our,
that's
that's our
our
pension,
pension,
that's
yeah.
our
That's
pension.
for Wanda, for Kemp Securities, I guess.
so that's our employees, our
Okay.
current employees.
That's what I'm saying, that it wasn't clear, you just say, okay, so this is current employees.
Yes.
Okay, that wasn't clear. Because it's under City Hall. All right, and yes, it would be nice to know where exactly the CPA was paid and what the amounts were for her. What else happened for City Hall?
So we've come down here to the building repair and maintenance, and that's where we have the $70,000 earmarked for that, and that's gonna be in the amended budget. Now, we've spent 12,000, and then we still have to get the building painted at this time. Christina, you've gotten 3 quotes, 2 quotes?
yes, ma'am, I'll be bringing that before you all, at the next commission meeting.
Okay. You're in the ballpark between,
Between 15 and 17 for both buildings, so
Okay.
I believe is around that, yes.
Okay, do we have any other questions on this?
Yes, there's a beautification line, which, was
Yeah.
0 under the adopted budget for this year, and is still 0, so that is, for any plants in any city property or right of way. And as well, I don't think they voted on it, I don't know, because it wasn't at a recent meeting. The Tree and Garden Board identified an organization called America in Bloom. And you can have, the lowest level introductory membership for $100. They're a very reputable organization, and for the $100 membership, they will give you an evaluation of your landscaping. They will do a professional evaluation. And,
That'd be interesting.
yeah, well, and there are some Central Florida municipalities who participate in that. Gene Bowerman thought it was a good idea, I think, pardon?
I said it'd be interesting.
Right,
Suggestions for our meeting.
I looked at it, I think it would be worth $100 to join America in Bloom and get a good concert, I mean, that's what they do.
So let's look into a membership, that would come under a membership, so that would be a membership, correct?
I don't know, because I think it could fit under beautification, because that's what it's for. They advise you on your beautification needs, and if you like what you see on the evaluation, or you feel you have the funds, you can join at a higher level, and at some point, they actually come in person.
Okay.
But anyway, so somewhere, I would recommend that we participate in America in Bloom, and at
Okay.
least start there.
Okay. Make sure y'all make note of that, please.
I did make a note of that.
Okay.
And on here, the public notice advertising, advertising in general, line 160, because we still have 7,000 budgeted. We've used 1,598. So that and the
And what we have in
advertising,
ours,
the authorizing
yeah,
our commission. yes.
so we need to find out with all these advertising, where,
We need to bring,
Yes.
I combine them and
Yeah.
just for one, made it a lot less confusing.
and they've taken this aid to private organizations and they've moved that over to the commission. So that goes over to the commission, is that correct?
Right?
Oh, where do you see
How is that
that?
on the next
On
page?
172.
Okay, yeah, that's right at zero, yeah. That's kind of out by itself.
Yeah. So, yes,
Okay, I thought it had been under the commission
It
for
is.
quite a while.
it is.
Yeah.
I mean, for a while.
So then let's go to page 16, which is our law enforcement and its law enforcement contract.
Well, I guess, Mayor, I did have one more question on 15.
Okay.
Just
What's your
on
question?
15, my question is really, I don't know, it shows the breakdown, the increase for general government being 296,258. To me, it would be helpful to know what the major components of that are.
Oh, it's like general government.
That might not be a priority for everyone.
Well, I think
That's
we
gonna
have-
be everything, like from this back up to commission.
Everything that we just.
It's gonna be the total budget.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
So when you look at all of those, yes,
So we're, okay.
and they're totally down, total general government
So
right
it's-
here.
It cut off, I'm sorry.
Okay, so it's from commission page to page 15.
Correct.
Okay, that makes sense. Thank you. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome. Okay, let's go on to page 16. Right now, we've got this at $494 and
I'll be looking for
$494,000. $494,000.
Don't we wish?
So
No, that window's increasing.
we know there's, yes,
So I finally got a response from Captain Usry. They're requesting a meeting on Tuesday, the 5th. I was gonna put out the invite today at 1:30. We put the same amount that was budgeted on the amended budget or the adopted budget, either one, on for the 2026. We, as a placeholder, we don't know what we're gonna get until we get to the negotiations and work out a deal. But we're gonna do our best.
And we do know that they've given us the same price for the last 4 years.
they have.
And so they had that first 3 years and then they did this last year. And we know that they also gave all their deputies raises in last
They
October. So they've given us warning basically that, we're gonna, that the price was gonna go up.
For the level of service that
Right.
we've been receiving for the five deputies, yes. And I believe they're looking at another 3, I think it's a 3-year contract. So they've locked it down for 3 years.
Yeah.
So, and when you look at it in comparison to a neighboring, I know, but, I know there's a lot of talk going on right now and everybody I run into, you hear what's going on? And I've spoken to them in a neighboring community. We're very fortunate.
We are.
We're very fortunate.
We are looking at their contract in depth, and we're also putting a public records request for their contract with the school as well, just so we can kind of do some comparison and just see what they have, what they've done for the last few years as well, just to have the information for our meeting.
That's in general, the last 2 contracts, we got those.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay.
Well, and actually, Mayor, one of my questions is, when is the sheriff's contract up at the end of the fiscal year?
Yes.
Okay, because, I don't know what kind of a deal the city manager has in mind, but at some point, the commission needs to look at the contract and make sure that it's acceptable to us and that the public.
Well, they'll have to bring it, he'll have to bring it to us.
Correct.
But I mean, we need enough time.
Yes.
I
I was
don't
hoping it would be on the August, it should be, if not the August, it's gonna be
It will be in
on the
September,
September one?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, September agenda?
for sure, yes.
Okay,
But that's the latest That's the latest we can
Well,
do it.
the contract does say that if we can pass the time, it does not.
Yes.
They do not
Doesn't
lose
lapse,
service.
right, we have a
They do
continuation.
so there's not a lapse in service.
Right.
So we're not, there's not some panic or something.
The only way that the service would be cut off is if there was a letter
Right.
and a
And
30-day,
30-day notice,
yes,
yeah.
correct.
So let's go on if we can to, 17, which is our fire department.
Mhm.
You've got in your salaries, is that what we're paying, is that what the chief is currently being paid?
That's,
Is that his current salary?
that is correct.
That's his current salary, okay,
Lower than Captain Patrick.
it is,
Yeah, I believe
it
that.
is.
Right.
And so that was my question, we have a contract with the new chief, he's receiving less than Chief Heifel was.
Correct.
Okay,
He doesn't have the same seniority. That's,
Plus, I believe the previous chief negotiated.
The bonus. as
Well,
well, we've always been very fortunate with our fire chief. But, that was Mayor, I have a question about not just the executive staff salaries. Staff salary that's lower,
firefighters.
right, that's staff salary is lower than the budget this year.
Yeah, I don't know why, but why did y'all lower it $4,400
We were basing,
on the projection?
No, it wasn't based on the projection. It was based on actually staff needs and what the chief is planning on doing. But
Well, you have an amended budget for 32,000, and then you come over here and the budget is 27,600. So why we dropped it down?
yeah, I don't know why the amended budget, I don't know why that was changed, why it was brought by the,
because of the increase in
yeah,
the
because I didn't touch
raise, the
salaries.
7%.
Yeah, it should-
Well, then I've gone up from the,
it
oh,
should,
yeah, I'm sorry, yes, you're correct, that's,
that's
Right,
what
you're
it
correct,
should,
I'm sorry.
that's what it should account for.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Did-
That's what that was.
did that come through on the actuals though? It doesn't really.
Yeah, that's factored in.
Okay. So I'm just thinking up. Have we had, it's for 2 positions, correct?
Yes,
During the day, Monday through Friday, 8 hours a day or something, correct?
There's 2 positions.
Right.
Correct.
Right, and actually, I don't see a note on here that indicates, what positions we have, like on the other pages that has
Staff.
the
I think on the
notation.
next page,
Absolutely.
But it doesn't say, it just says a fire chief, a
Okay.
part-time fire chief and volunteer firefighters. It
Okay.
doesn't account for the employees. So please make sure you.
Check that.
Just off the top of my head, that seems very low for 2 employees.
Yes.
Oh, but they're each part-time, correct?
No, it's full-time, it's 8 to 5 days a week.
I don't know, are they, I believe they're 24 on, are they 24 on too?
yes, I
How
believe
are
so.
they?
Yeah.
Oh, wait, you know what, no, I don't think so.
So they're,
No, because, yeah, no, because,
It's Monday through Friday, 8 to
because
5.
the chief said he was having, it might be tough to have, like, get overnighters to stay.
to get us overnight, that's when
Yeah.
volunteers come in, so we have our volunteers come in.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then, Mayor, you had mentioned the Better Place Plan Fund,
Uh-huh.
and certainly when we come down to line 193 where it says
Yes,
better,
absolutely,
um,
for the air compressor.
the air compressor
Yeah,
and, right, anything, I mean, I certainly would not want to put off getting the fire equipment that we need. And I had, what was that? So to me, that would be,
Something that
Yeah,
we should look
potential.
at for Better Place.
right, potential for better place. And then I have one more question about this and I got distracted. Oh, at one point, I do not remember which year this was, but Debbie Peacock, our former finance director, prior to Robin, she retired what year?
2021.
2021, she was here for a while. For a long time, she was holding money in reserve for,
Fire truck.
right, for a fire truck. Did we buy that fire truck?
No,
If not,
No, we did not.
if not, where is the money that was designated for the purchase of that fire truck? I have not seen it.
We designated it.
Pardon?
I don't think we designated it.
It
believe
was in a reserve
I
account,
believe it was, and it got moved, and I'm trying to find where it got moved to.
because that was a lot of money.
Yeah,
It
well,
didn't
the-
get used, I think it just got allocated I think it just got allocated to another spot.
We need to make sure that
That's
where
all,
it is, and if it's in pooled cash, make sure it's not in our reserves.
Well, I mean, all of a sudden it just wasn't reported on anymore.
I didn't think that we,
So when you come over here, where was it? I had something noted. Down here for training, you've got $3,500 that you're adding to.
Yes, ma'am.
And then, so, we haven't expended any this time, and I think some of that training isn't some of that training, what are you hoping what training for $3,500?
So the volunteers have to have a certain level of training in order to actually do their job. It's almost to the level of actually being a paid firefighter.
Right, I understand.
Right, so.
Some of that's free though.
Some of it's free, some of it's not. So this is just to cover that cost, something that was an increase. I talked to Chief about that. And so we're wanting to allocate more money in there to make sure that we're covered on all those classes.
Commissioners, do you have any more questions on this?
I would like to get clearance or clarity on those positions. Because since apparently we're not sure.
Yeah.
I was always under the impression it was 2 people, 40 hours a week, Monday through Friday. And then you have volunteers overnight and volunteers on the weekend. But that doesn't make sense with the amount of money that we spend. I don't know how we pay 2 people.
Nope, I've got it up there.
Here, we're gonna take a look at it. And I do wanna point this out. You probably have already seen it. You know, again, this is a first go at this. Have a discussion line item by line item. If you look at the budgeted total comparison to the amended budget, again, it's a tight year. We're not far off from the original budget. I think we're less about $851 cut from that department, basically.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cut from the fire department?
Cut from the entire, yes, from the entire department in totals. If you compare our budget for this year versus the amended budget.
We've backed out $851 savings from the year prior.
Correct.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, are we ready? Can we move on to 19? Commissioner DeVito, do you have a question? I'm just looking at our time.
Yeah.
I'm saying,
Okay, let's go code enforcement.
Almost there.
And on code enforcement, I didn't understand for Medicare, I guess because she's part-time, but we had 509, you've got it allotted for, but then nothing has been paid out of that. And she should still be paying Medicare. I mean, we're part-time and we pay.
Well, it is, it's probably getting allocated up into the FICA.
Well, that's what I was wondering, because it doesn't look like it's done that with the other employees.
Right.
So just make sure if you would and check on that.
Well, I'm assuming we're making, aren't we paying, for people who are eligible, and is this a case where we would be paying for Medicare
We have
instead of health insurance?
Yeah, no, we have to, with Medicare taxes, we have to pay that.
Right, but I know, so does she or does she not receive health insurance?
She contributes to that and so do we. But it might be because, okay, we got a lot, sorry, gentlemen.
Yes, ma'am.
With Medicare, Pam, it might be because of her age.
Yeah.
She might be on
say that.
Medicare,
Okay.
and so we might, it says Medicare there, so it might be that we're not having to contribute to that anymore.
No,
So
you're
just
correct.
please check on that. Nothing about Pam's age, but,
She's old.
and then you come down to membership and training, we've got $1,600, we haven't extended anything thus far, but you budgeted again for $1,600, so what is that for membership and training?
There are some memberships within the state regarding code enforcement. I really would like that position to be able to have continuing education and know the better practices and the latest and greatest practices. So hoping to do that. Again, looking at the budget, not much delta or difference on that one. I am increasing it by $727 for code enforcement.
And then, right, and shout out to our code officer, Ms. Taylor. I think last year she went to the annual conference for free because she helped either organize or present.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think she had a board or
I
something.
think she brought them even here, I think she had them come here at some point, there was a whole group of them
Well,
I was like, boy, that would be a nice thing. Why don't you take a tour of the town and point some things out?
and then I know that it's unlikely, but it has been my thought for the last several years. Should we think about giving more hours to our code officer? Have we asked her? Because she has backlog, there's a lot to do, there's night signs out there, blah, blah, blah. No more hours.
I think she's adequate, based on what I think, my opinion. City manager,
Yes.
based on the services that we're getting from this, do you feel that she's got adequate hours?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
Okay.
Well, it seems like there's a lot to do out there.
There is.
There is a lot to do.
There is, and we've actually have a plan, and we're working on even getting together on her policies and procedures and how she does her job, but we're gonna make it efficient. And in that, we've ordered a printer for her vehicle as well, updated computer system. She's gonna be doing her job more efficiently and more proactively, but I believe that what she has right now is good. Now, if we get to the point where we see that we need more, I will come back to the commission and we'll discuss that at a later date.
Okay, but for everyone to consider, and this has been an ongoing issue, our code officer works Monday through Friday. And
No, it's Monday through Thursday.
Monday through Thursday.
Well, okay, but she works during the week, and it has come up periodically that, this is not unknown to people. And we have frequently unpermitted work, people know when to do that work. So just throwing that out there, we are not covered for code on the weekends.
That is typical in most cities. I've come from.
Friday afternoon at
Yeah.
5:00, cookers and everything.
Yeah, Saturday and Sundays when everybody's working. And
However, we did have a situation just recently and we pulled her out for it, you did, on a Saturday.
yes, and we took care of business.
For the fruit stand that's not supposed to be set up, the fruit drink, and she did go by. She was actually going to the land, I believe, and so
Yes.
she came by and checked on it.
Yes.
I'm just saying, there are things that happen here, and they're not always good. Code violations have led to fires and the Lord knows what. So we just, maybe there's some other way we could cover that need. But I hate to think that it's open season on the weekends and that there's no recourse, so.
So if you see something, I would make sure I share that with the city manager so that he can. Even if she has to offset, because I know she's willing to do that. And then her retirement, Commissioner DeVito, that would be something else. I don't know about her doing it full time. Some people are very limited with how much they can. So I don't know, that's an HR issue, that's a whole different thing.
But Mayor,
I should just finish this up.
Mayor, FYI, there is a city manager in the area, I think she's the Micanopy city manager. She is also the code officer.
Okay.
And that's been very effective.
Okay, thank you. So if we go over to, Public Works and Streets on 20, page 20, do we have any questions on here? It says on here, working with urban forestry for the tree canopy mitigation. And you've got $15,000 allotted in that. That's our tree maintenance. I know we've got a lot that we have to do for that. So you're currently working with urban forestry?
We've been in discussions, had a couple emails. I'm going to see if there are any grants out there that we can get for mitigation purposes for our trees. We have a lot of trees, especially live oaks. And so, yes, we will be working with urban forestry to see what we can do. And I believe they are also the people involved with the grant for the tree planting that we got for the 5,000. We were in recent conversations with the gentleman and made sure that we were adhering to the requirements of that grant, which we're in compliance.
And Mayor,
Do y'all have any other, do you have any?
I have a follow-up on
Okay.
the city manager's information. I've read it's the Florida Department of Agriculture and Consumer Services. I don't think that there is a grant. I think mitigation is something else. It's not for tree trimming. I do not believe that they are going to provide any funds whatsoever. I think it is for planning only. And that we have to bear the cost of trimming. Planning is good, but I don't think it's going to cover.
Well, I'm glad to see that we have some money in for sidewalk repair. Right, yes, you added it in the budget here. So thank you. I mean, we could use some sidewalk repair. As someone that uses them all.
Do we have any other questions on this page? If not, we're gonna move on to page 21. And if you, when you,
Oh, yes,
yes, go ahead, Commissioner DeVito, you've got 5 minutes. We have 5 minutes.
The sidewalks come from Better Place. Is that all? Yeah.
Not repairs.
I don't think
Oh,
repairs, how about repairs?
Replacement?
I think putting in new sidewalks, we can. But I don't think we can repair them.
Well, maybe we need to look at what needs to be new as opposed to repaired.
Yeah. And I think if, oftentimes, if you're having to fix it, sometimes you cut that out and you'd be renewing it.
Yeah.
So let's go to 21 if we can. Does anybody have, any comments on this? I know this was kind of a pass-through here on the other, for the burned, replaced burned equipment. Was it 12,000 that was? Is that how much we actually spent?
Yes, it was 12,716.
Okay,
Now, are we getting an insurance claim allowed?
we did,
Yeah,
Yes.
we did.
and I think we even got, Sheila even called and got us, a claim on the labor.
For the labor, yeah, they
Yeah, it was
provided.
$1,500 or $1,600 or something like that.
So that's why others are. Very much.
I didn't have any questions on this page, but I did have one on the next one.
Okay, does anybody have any other questions on this page?
No.
Okay. Let's go to the next one. What's your, Commissioner?
Well, just, I really, and maybe we don't have time to go into it now, I don't really understand what exactly we're looking at.
I don't either. When I was going through it, I was like, okay.
Which sheet? It's the last
On
page.
22, the last page.
Page,
Starting
Okay.
at 259, number
25,
line number
26.
259.
And from the total expenditures line down, probably should have been hidden too. That's just
Correct.
Just,
it should, I'm sorry, I couldn't hear what Steve said.
from the total expenditure lines, those rows probably should just been hidden.
So those other ones, so see, you've got your total expenditures, which would be
Right.
all of our expenses
Yeah.
Yes.
over there, so that we have to have, but he's saying that underneath that, all
261,
of that.
261 to 267,
Nope, I'm sorry, make that 262 because.
262,
yeah,
okay,
because the,
over expenditure, yeah.
Yeah, the excess, the
Yeah.
efficiency is 0. So
Right.
yeah, so from
just
262
more.
So
down.
under other financing sources, that's for Stephen to look at. Total expenditures, you can look at this budget where we had it, of course, we made some changes. We were looking at 2,478,667. That's an increase of $93,470 or 4% of the budget from the admitted budget, which was 2,385,207 in 2025.
Okay.
That's using the highest tax rate.
Yes, this is the highest rate.
And,
But, and Mayor, I know
Yes.
this was general government budget, I had some notes, we're out of time now. But if we can get done in time, for the special meeting, there were some things I wanted to ask the rest of the commission about, that we might consider, we haven't really discussed. Probably take another 5 or 10 minutes about things we could adjust in the general government budget. Could we take a few minutes? If we get
at the
done
end
in
of,
time.
at the end of the, yes, at the end of the special meeting, we can do that. Outside of the-
Because I feel more comfortable than just giving that to the city manager for
We
you.
need to discuss it. Okay, with that, I'm gonna go ahead and we're going, if everybody's ready, everybody's good? We're going to adjourn this workshop and we're gonna reconvene at 4 o'clock for our, special meeting.